So, Coach Hani, we finally got it going. Yeah, we finally got you on.
What was it like?
We've been
6 months?
maybe talk about 6 months about getting you on the show.
You're a busy man.
Yeah,
You guys are busy as well, so
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
time to put down everything together.
we're in
but-
Saudi. We're meant to get busy, no?
Yeah,
For sure.
that's
for
it.
Sure.
And you've been traveling, hasn't it, back and forth, and
Yeah. I mean, with sports, it's very dynamic, so you never know when you're gonna end up next.
yeah,
It's mainly training camps, tournaments, competitions, and whatnot. So
yeah,
with the change of
Yeah.
my projects,
yeah.
yeah, it gets really busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for some of the listeners and people watching, maybe you could introduce yourself and tell a bit about your background.
All right, first things first, because my mind is split into two now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Hani, Coach Hani Assi, or Coach Assi as known on
Yep.
my social media. My background is in sports mainly, so I've started as a physical educator.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done my degree in PE, physical education and sports, back in Lebanon. I went to Notre Dame University,
Okay.
and that's where I started my actual SNC. SNC was like up and coming term, where the West was throwing the word or the term
Yeah.
SNC. So
15 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just go by different names.
Yeah.
Fitness coach,
Yeah.
physical
We,
trainer.
we've always said, isn't it, like strength and conditioning.
It's a bad name.
It's not a great name for
Yeah.
No,
what.
it's very confusing.
Yeah.
It's very confusing
Yeah.
because of it's two words like strength and conditioning, and
Yeah.
people ask you like, "What do you do?"
What the hell is that?
Yeah, what's
So,
What
that?
do you mean what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other people will come up as like, "Yeah, is it more like gym-based stuff? You do like more field-based stuff, part of the conditioning."
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have to explain the whole thing. So I just say, it's purely physical preparation for teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Athletes.
It's hard to
from-
capture it in a word, isn't it, or a couple of
Yeah.
words.
No.
Yeah.
People say, I'm a
Recently, I
lawyer.
was
I'm a
saying-
lawyer. I'm an accountant. I'm a this. It's like,
Yeah, this is more specific to
Yeah.
your role, right?
yeah.
I think you get away more with like sports science. I'm
Yeah.
just a coach. Now I'm just
But I noticed you on your Instagram, you call performance coach.
yes.
Yeah. I think that's quite a good term.
That
Like
works.
sports performance coach or something
I
like
just
that.
left it like years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll do. Yeah.
We had a discussion like me and my classmates when I was doing my masters in London. So
Yeah.
they're like, "What are you gonna go by?" Performance specialist. Okay. What do you wanna go by? Everyone throwing like terms and whatnot. It's
Where did you do your masters?
University of East London.
East London. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I got my scholarship from. I left Lebanon on a scholarship. It's called Chevening Award, and I had different choices. So I had Brunel, I had Middlesex. Remember we discussed
Yeah.
Middlesex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Middlesex.
It was a messy time. And the best option for me was the University of East London for one main reason, actually two. One, it's the proximity for the London Olympics that was taking place back in 2012.
Yeah.
So I was part of the 2011 cohort. And
Oh, so literally, yeah, at the time of everything was getting going, and then you would have
Yes.
finished just before the games, yeah?
actually, that was the only reason they had that scholarship going
Really?
for sports science. So usually they do like media, economics, law, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they ran it for what, just 1 year?
Yeah,
No way.
yeah, that's what I know. So
Oh, wow. And so they got lecturers in everything just for 1 year.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. It was like
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of this whole.
Yeah, I can imagine part of the
Campaign.
games
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
And the Chevening covers, I think, 130 plus countries, other than anyone outside of UK.
Yeah.
So when you get to meet other scholars, we're like trying to find who's in my program.
Yeah.
None. The closest I could find were people from Egypt, Ireland, I forgot, maybe Australia. They were doing sports management.
Right.
Okay.
Very far from
Yeah, yeah.
my field.
Yeah.
It's purely like sports science. In the
Yeah.
end, it's research based. So yeah, I got more involved in coaching early on, and that's because of remember Athletes Performance.
Of course, that's where I met you first time. Years ago. That was probably like
Because
20.
where we met like 6 months ago, I was like, I've seen you before. It's all familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, when was that? 2010 or something like that? 2011?
2011.
It was at that time, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we brought over Athlete Performance, which obviously is now Exos.
Exactly.
We brought them for the first time over to the UK from Arizona, Phoenix from their place to the UK. And then we hosted it at Harrow for, I don't know, 3-4 years, something like that. We had it, all the courses, and then
So I remember, was it phase
then they went to
1,
Tottenham.
phase 2? Because I did 2011, 2012 back
yeah,
to back.
yeah. So I think it was level 1 and 2 back to back in
Yeah.
the first year, and level 3 was the second year. I think we had, because we had Nick Winkelman, that first year.
Yeah,
And
that was great.
that was awesome. It was,
Was
a really
it Nick, Barry?
all the
Barry's in
top
Arsenal
guys.
now, right?
Yeah, all the top guys came, didn't they? Barry was there because
Yeah.
he was doing bits with Arsenal at the time, and
He's still there.
is he still there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was a good time. We had Nick Winkelman was a great coach, and then the next year we had Nicole. I think Nicole was there. Rodriguez. Is she back in the US now? I think she's back in the US because she was in Poland for a while. She's in Holland.
Last time.
Holland for a
check.
while.
Yeah, she was doing the program for the youth
Teams, yeah.
teams mainly for the soccer
Yeah.
in Poland. Maybe she's back in the States. I'm not sure.
But Exos now, I think let's call it that. That's where I really learned about coaching. That's when I first got really exposed, like how to coach and the importance of coaching.
Absolutely.
And especially now because you do a lot with kids and sports and all that side. You used to train with the kids. What's with that cohort, with people in that age group, what are some of the most important things? How do you get across the message to people of that sort of age group, between the teenagers as such?
I mean, it varies, especially with characters and whatnot and their own background, like their families. Because I have a daughter, she's 10, and I've been training my daughter since she was like 4 or 3. So
Yeah.
that idea,
She's ready for the Olympics, yeah?
I hope so. She's a long-term project now.
Yeah.
Because you need to differentiate between a professional athlete and a kid. A kid is a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much that they can do.
Yeah.
And the variability of having exercises and just make them tick or make them stimulated by something is way different than dealing with an adult.
Mm.
So many things you can get away with adults, but you cannot with kids.
Yeah.
Because there will be a choice of, nope, I'll just block it.
Yeah.
Not showing up again. Or I hate you.
Yeah.
Because you never know, like, what's the family background like. All I see is the kid in front of me. Is he a happy kid, sad kid, and whatnot? But bear in mind, like, 2 mindful things, which is the peak height velocity that you need to track across the years. And
You're talking like height, yeah? Like
Yes.
how tall they
How
are.
fast
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
growing, yeah.
Yeah.
And there is the biobanding, where you group
Yeah.
similar kids of similar abilities and whatnot. But it has to do more with like what your facility is capable of
Yeah.
doing.
Mm.
So you stick to basics, and you try to educate more and more and make people aware, mainly with the coaches. So, for example, with the boxing club, we have 2, 3, around 5 different boxing coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So they all come with different perceptions, and they want to instill their own training philosophies on the
Yeah.
kids.
Put their stamp on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do double sessions, 1 in the morning usually, and 1 in the evening. So that will be with the over like 16 plus.
Yeah.
They can get exemption from the school, and the kids will do doubles on Saturday because that's the only day they can
Yeah. Free.
get away with.
No
it.
school and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't like it. 8 in the morning
Yeah.
on a Saturday is like why?
Yeah, why? Yeah.
But they do well, and it's just the pitfall where things get monotonous. This is where we need to like try to avoid or break it
With like the routine or with the programs you're giving them, or
within the program itself. So
Yeah.
remember, the main thing is the main thing, which is boxing. So if you're teaching a skill, coaches need to be smart about how to teach a skill.
yeah.
So the fundamentals should be there, and then you expand on the fundamental. That's your basic foundation.
Mm.
How you go on doing about it, this is how you need to be creative and understand the skill acquisition part. It's all motor learning in the end. So
Yeah.
how do you problem solve a given task?
Mm-hmm.
Do you overcoach it?
Yeah.
Do you like paralyze someone by saying like, no, yes, do this, do that, like so many cues, and then that takes me back to athletes' performance, like Exos. When we got, remember that evaluation at the end of the,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
that was epic.
Yeah.
It was like the first time someone gets to look at my work, look at my
Yeah.
posture, my demeanor, my way of talking, and so on, and then they get to evaluate every single component.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, it's a great step to have a coach that can critically analyze you,
Mm.
evaluate you, give you the feedback, so that can put you in a better place in the future, so you can work on yourself. Same thing with kids.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be mindful about how you coach a kid. But in the end, if you're quick to build rapport with them, that's it. It's a big win.
Yeah.
Becomes
And-
a lot easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like quick to associate with things like, I feel the pump.
yeah.
Look at my biceps.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
boys.
I
Yeah.
want to get an arm like you.
Yeah,
Like,
they want the
nah.
biceps, the chest, the abs,
Yeah.
everything they can see in the mirror. Basically, that's what
Absolutely,
they.
yes.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
And their timeline is different than yours. So it's like, next week. Nope.
Yeah.
18 in the business. No.
Yeah.
You just like teach them to be more patient, consistent, and just to be aware of their surrounding one and the safety
Yeah.
of operating the machines
Yeah.
and the environment of the club.
Yeah.
itself.
Basic etiquettes as well. You know how to like
Yeah.
handle
It's
yourself.
a
in the-
long way, but
Yeah. And how long do you have these guys for? You know, how long are they with you for? Is it months or years or weeks or
it's
Yeah.
across the year.
they're on a year?
So if you're talking about the boxing club, since I joined back in December,
Yeah.
so I'm there with them whenever they are in the morning. So whenever we have sessions, so it's basically in the morning and in the afternoon.
Okay.
You try to change the culture of getting ready, getting prepared.
Yeah.
So the coaches will ask you like to come in ready at least 20 minutes prior to your session. And I was like, okay, I'm shocked already.
Yeah.
But not that shocked because I've already worked in the Olympic Center and like, okay, they all have the same common thing. That culture is missing. If it's a 3 p.m. session, everyone is there 3 p.m., not ready.
Yeah. Not ready. Yeah.
You
that-
miss time.
Yeah, so you miss 20 minutes of your
3:15
session.
you start.
Messing
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
I wish 15 minutes. 20 minutes to get yourself ready.
Yeah.
Be more attentive about what your main component is going to work on. You're about to work on, and just go through your warm up.
So is that part of like the initial phase now is kind of disciplining them or in terms of getting them like there 20 minutes early and
Yes.
and structure getting that in place first before you even focus on other stuff too much?
That's the. I think this is the first step. What I call is the locker room culture.
Yeah.
So you have to instill it early on. Be consistent. Be persistent. And hold people, keep people accountable.
Yeah. So you look for those kind of one or two leaders or
Yes.
a couple of senior guys in the group or
So with our senior guys, even with the youth team, so we have usually captains. So you delegate
yeah,
some certain bits.
responsibility, yeah.
And so they hold others accountable and they know they're going to be accountable for their actions, which is a great thing to build up.
Yep.
1 second. Is it on? Not on yet. One more fight. Because that's the main event.
We should have this live on the
Yeah.
screen. We should have put it up. Yeah.
I can connect. You gave me an option.
Yeah. I don't know if our TV is super Chinese. I don't know if it has any.
Yeah, it's called just called General Supreme.
You
So
heard of that TV brand before?
it's very well known. But I think kids, a lot of people, you know, they I think for me, from my experience, I think kids is a great. They build so much. Their nervous systems are incredible at that age.
Sponge.
And they can. The rate of progress is unbelievable.
Yes.
We see kids go from like never touching a bar before, and then like 4 months later, they, you know, say clean and jerking 100 kilos in like 4 months. And you're like, how?
It's absolutely mad.
You know what I
Look at
mean?
my own journey was like to get to 100, break the hundreds.
Yeah.
Took me ages, and I'm like, wow.
So for that, you know, that teenage kind of that range as such from, you know, say 12, 13 up to 18, what is your main emphasis with during that age group and during that phase of their life? What are you trying to get out of these guys
I mean,
and
again,
develop?
That common word we use as coaches, it depends. But moving on from depends, it's you're trying to build all these basic movement patterns.
Yeah.
You want to have a clean squat, clean hinge, you want to lunge, you want to rotate, you want to push, you want to pull in different planes. And then I'll be categorizing different kids with different abilities. They were going to be having more advanced stuff. Because I'm not going to bore them with a simple push-up if you can do a push-up.
Yeah.
Just load it.
Yeah.
The whole aim is to get stronger.
More.
Yeah.
More. And then, because I've seen so many variations and methods and whatnot, but some of them, it beats the point.
Yeah.
Because your
Misses the
main
point
task
totally.
is get stronger, full stop.
Yeah.
What's the fastest way and safest way? If you can clear a push-up, a clear press-up, done. Just load it. A pull-up, a chin-up. Squatting, it depends on your facility, what you have in terms of
Yeah,
that
racks
squat
and bars or dumbbells
Do you
or
want a
yeah.
back squat? Are they good to back squat? Are they good to front squat?
Mm-hmm.
What's best? Maybe a belt squat. There's so many variations you can go on, but ultimately, as you said, like that long-term goal is to. Again, it depends as a coach. Do you want to actually make them masses at back squatting?
Yeah.
So for the boxer, it beats the point. I just want to express high forces
Yeah.
and then mix it up with getting like high velocity with like less force. Again, it's the outcome you want to end up achieving. But back to basics is the movement patterns. You need to clear it, make
Yeah.
sure they can go through it safely and they can load it.
What are some of your key, like you were saying, like for these guys, what are some of the key lifts that you kind of your key indicator lifts or lifts that you know from research or whatever respond are the main ones to get good at for boxers and those guys that you look for and really like you measure and you can kind of tell like people look at pull-up strength for like rugby, people look at like normally squats, they look at pull-ups, they look at these are there key lifts that you're really focusing on for boxers?
To be honest, because I'm in the midst of creating that system in that club. Because bear in mind, you're always clashing with the boxing coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, technical
Boxing
coaches. Yeah,
We discussed this.
Yeah.
First time we met, it's still old school, and
So
they
old
always
school.
associate with what they see, as in slow, fast.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
yeah, you're gonna get too big and bulky and
Yeah.
slow
Absolutely.
and yeah,
So you need to be smart about getting away with stuff by masking it
yeah,
somehow.
Yeah.
yeah,
Especially when it comes to conditioning, because again, most of them they've been fighting before, and all right, Hani, this is what worked for me. This is what's
Yeah.
gonna work for them. And I'm like, all right, here we
There's
go
so
again.
much like superstition in boxing, isn't there?
there seems
You
to be.
can't help it.
Yeah.
This is combat sports.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would look at the mixed martial arts realm, how UFC push things forward, because now you see more and more sports science
Yeah.
involved. But again, still, you'd see coaches saying like, but this is MMA. All right, so we
Okay.
stick back to boxing. But back to boxing, you look at the foundation, which is what's touching the floor, where do you generate that force from? So you look at the feet,
yep,
how strong your ankles are, up through the kinetic
Yeah,
chain. So
starting
looking-
there, yeah.
Yes, that would be my starting point, because they do lots of skipping, and the volume is high. So you have a cohort of, let's say, 25, 30 boxers. Most of them will get away with skipping, and some won't, because they still have to build up that tissue capacity.
yeah,
Can they endure it or not? So what do we do next? All right, instead of doing like 3 minutes, 4 rounds, just do a minute and a half, see how they cope with it. And try to like measure it. Did I miss it? No, still safe, I think. I hope so. So I was saying, with that tissue capacity, you need to just like load week by week, respect that volume and the intensity as well. But again, it's the coach comes in with his own program. So you need to sit, try to explain the science by not being too sciencey, because they're going to get bored.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But then sometimes they realize the hard way, like, all right, we have an injury. Whether it's
Tendons
minor,
or-
it's just this basic plantar fasciitis stuff.
yeah, Achilles
Shin
stuff,
splints.
patella.
God forbid the Achilles. I hate that one.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Exactly,
It is
We all
disgusting.
feel it.
It's rank.
We all been there. So
We've all heard it.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So what I do is you try to explain certain key, let's say, prehab exercises, basic stuff like with a kettlebell, work on your anterior tib,
Yep.
do a couple of sets till it
Yeah.
burns, ditch it, go on single leg calf stuff, 5-second hold,
Yep.
repeat it 15, 20 times, just for one set.
Yeah, it's
Basic
basics.
stuff.
Yeah.
Very basic stuff, and
But it works.
it does.
Yeah.
And they get to feel it, and then like they're happier and happier. But
It's
again,
like
you have
how
to be
many people
mindful.
can do like 20, 30 single leg calf races? Body weight, not many.
It's funny and shocking at the same time. Like everyone's running in a
Yeah.
very awkward way,
Yep.
Yeah.
but you have to run. And I'm like looking like, okay. But this across all board. So
Yeah. It's
Different
every sport.
sports.
Every sport.
and this is when you as a coach come into play, as in that's the value you bring in. one of so many things.
Mm-hmm.
If you can fix a bit of mechanics, you're adding performance at the same time.
Yeah.
And that opens way. But yeah, again, feet moving up through the trunk, hips.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at the pelvic girdle and the shoulder girdle, what connects them, and you target them as much as you can. But it's basic stuff.
Yeah.
A good bench press,
Yep.
or a good press up that is loaded.
Yep.
Chin ups, if it's easier for them.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in my head, like you focus on a lot of relative strength, like building like all the dips and your push-ups, your
Absolutely.
chin-ups,
Yes.
all that side of
Because
things.
bear in mind, like we started doing like quarterly testing.
Yeah,
So Q1 testing done, Q2 testing done. I would see the trend, I would see the improvement.
mm-hmm.
Because between, let's say, Q1 and Q2, you have so many tournaments and training camps
Yeah.
you're just off the tangent in a
It
split
throws off things a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
So you need to adapt quick, keep things ticking up, as
Mm-hmm.
in, all right, how can I capitalize on what I've been doing before?
mm-hmm.
Just basic stuff to top up. And again, kids, they like sponges.
Yeah,
The window of adaptation is huge, it's massive.
yeah,
Um,
and they can recover quick as well. The
absolutely.
growth hormone is going through the roof. You know what I mean?
Testosterone, everyone jumping all
Everything,
around.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Give me
I
more.
remember when I was like 15, 16, I could train like. I mean, I used to train like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So I would train in the morning. I'd go down and do some running, or I'd do some like SAQ drills and stuff like that. Breakfast, have school in the morning or whatever. Then like afternoon, we play rugby for like an hour and a half,
Yeah.
2 hours of rugby. A session, and then I'll go to the gym after for an hour and a half, and then dinner, whatever, and then in the evening I'll go back at 9 o'clock and do another gym session. And I used to do that most days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
When I was 15, 16, 17, like it was just that. But now I'm trying to do one session a day, I'm done.
It's that's the hormonal profile.
Yeah.
It starts dipping,
Yeah.
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. I hit my 40s. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna carry on. Nope. Nope.
yeah.
But still, things changed. Like I came to Riyadh 2 years ago, 2 years and a half
Yeah.
ago. Like, yeah, I can carry on the same thing, different environment. Getting back into your old routine is something different. But it's a trade-off. If you want to go all out, do double sessions. I still do double sessions, but it's less than what I used to do.
Yeah.
Because then I can't coach you. I'm just dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think clearly. I was like, what's going on? But yeah, this is it's a life-changing event. So people need to.
But that's what
Get ready.
I just
Yeah.
think that
Keep it ready.
those age brackets between like 11, 12 up to 18 is just the best time for strength and neurological development. And then obviously then you start building hypertrophy after like when you get your
It becomes
20s.
easier because
20s, early 20s, you start building the mass. You
Yeah.
can build the mass and all that sort of stuff. But I think for just strength and coordination, all that sort of stuff,
absolutely.
it's
But
just
that's a key point. Like going back to the UK comparing to the US.
yeah,
When I went for my postgrad, I was like expecting this huge facilities. I thought I was going to the States.
No.
I was shocked. I was like, what?
yeah.
What
Where's that? Where I've seen this on TV. They're meant to be like cleaning 180 kilos everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, like all of London, it's hard to find a big facility
Yeah.
other than probably was it St Mary's facility?
Yeah.
Was
St. Mary's
decent.
Or Brunel, yeah.
And
Brunel's
Brunel,
pretty
Loughborough, but
But in London, yeah,
In
probably
London,
just
it's
Brunel
hard
and
to
St
find.
Mary's, yeah.
Yeah.
and when I joined my university, they sent me the dream because they had the mock-up of the facility.
The mock-up. Yeah, the
And
mock-up.
I'm like, yeah, it's next to my window because I was living on campus. Like, yep, this is it.
Yeah,
I took my TRX from Beirut.
yeah. Luckily you did.
Luckily, yeah.
Luckily you
But-
did.
I did, but when I had my studio, I didn't realize how tiny a studio would be.
Yeah.
Like, no, I need space.
Yeah.
So I waited for the next term till the facility was finished, and they were getting ready to have the Americans on board
Yeah.
because we had the American Dream Team.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was that
Basketball team,
2012,
yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
I've
LeBron,
seen- yeah,
Kobe.
I've seen late Kobe from a distance. Like, yeah, but you can't touch, you can't
No, no.
smile, you can't sneeze.
Yeah.
Just everyone like away.
Yeah, yeah.
They actually kicked us off campus
Did
3
they?
weeks prior
Before?
to the deadline where you just need to submit your cards, leave.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, because of first wave, they will have their own people coming to check the campus,
Yeah.
all the Secret Service and whatnot. But you can spot.
You can.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah, because we had Latalo on, and he Mohammed just the episode before.
Yep.
Yeah, and he went to the London 2012 Olympics, so he did taekwondo. So
yeah, I
he
was
was
listening to that.
yeah.
That's
It
cool.
was a great episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mad. mad story. But he was saying about all the living conditions and everything else with the Olympic Village. But sounds like you got kicked out just before it all
'Cause-
happened. Yeah,
But that's on campus from my university.
yeah.
They had the Olympic Village next to Westfield.
Just next, yeah.
And it's funny how
Stratford, wasn't it?
they structured the whole thing. So they blocked off everything. So they have different ways to get into Westfield. To the stadiums, right? So they blocked off everything and they made you walk through one path that takes you into Westfield. Because Westfield in Stratford was a new.
Yeah, it was brand new then,
it
wasn't
was,
it?
It was brand new. So they said, you know what? We have like millions of visitors.
Going through
It's a
Westfield.
smart way, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the only way. You have to go through Westfield,
Westfield.
to get to the.
I don't know, stop in a
clothes
shop,
on the way
stopping
by.
there, stopping that,
Absolutely.
on the way.
Smart. That's good.
Smart.
With the Olympic villages, it's a bit different.
Mm.
Like living conditions. I mean, it's fun and whatnot till you get. Have you been to one of the?
No,
Olympic
never.
villages?
No.
I've been to the Paris one with the Paralympic team.
Yeah, well, because we actually commented on that. We
Yeah.
saw, I think, on TikTok and Instagram about the beds and they were cardboard and like all this.
Yeah, so that
was that actually true? That it was.
It is, but it's really sturdy.
It was all right.
We were testing it out. We just jump in,
Kicking
slam
it,
in.
yeah.
Yeah,
Guys were picking each other up. It's like, bam, coach,
Yeah.
look, it doesn't move. It's like, all right, chill.
and so they were okay then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they first introduced it back in Tokyo.
Okay.
That was the first thing. And I don't know if it's a myth or was part of their advertisement, like just to make it a bit annoying for people to engage in
Yeah.
extracurricular
Activities after they've won their
Well,
after
obviously
their
it
events.
didn't work.
No, definitely not.
No, it was sturdy enough. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
People don't need a bed. They'll do it anyway.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
know, but I hear stories, so it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And how was Paris? How was Paris Olympics? Because obviously there was a lot of media coverage and a lot of things being said about it and everything else with the opening ceremony and
It was.
everything else.
It was. So I wasn't on the ceremony itself for the Olympics.
Yeah.
I was in Poland.
You went to
training camp.
Paralympics. Didn't you in the Para?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we were getting ready the para athletes for Paralympics.
that's right.
So I
Yeah.
was in Poland, but we were talking to the management and stuff. They're like, "You don't believe what's going on."
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, like most of the stuff that they were talking about, it was actually happening.
Okay.
Yeah, the main one was the lack of food. Do you remember that one?
No.
So when you go into the Olympic Village, there is the main atrium where you have all it's like the whole food hall.
Like a food hall,
different
yeah?
section and whatnot.
Okay.
And it's kind of the same setup where I was in Hangzhou back in the Asian Games.
Yeah.
So you have the halal section and you have the Asian food. I don't know, like different stuff. But everyone's complaining, is like, we need protein, we need protein, we need protein. They had an issue with the supplier,
Yeah.
and that went on for days.
What?
And everyone's complaining.
So just having loads of.
But you know, like athletes, anything that changes, we're like, yep, this is the
Well,
time.
the athletes
Let
are
me worry
highly
about it.
sensitive, and the coaches. I mean, you're so
Everyone.
athletes are they're so in tune with their bodies. You know, they're very sensitive to any minor changes. You know what I mean?
Plus the whole staff. Everyone gets stressed. Everyone's on high alert.
Yeah.
Because the expectations are really high.
Yeah.
You build up for 4 years towards this, or 8 years or whatever, it is, but at least 4 years. Normally.
Yes. I mean,
And
the
then-
Olympics, people don't understand.
Yeah. And most people just go once.
And that's it.
Yeah. So you build up, you sacrifice 4 years basically, and then something happens like
No
that,
protein.
or
Yeah.
Yeah.
out of your control basically.
Exactly.
It's
So it was I think it was the combination of rain, transportation was a bit sketchy.
yeah.
Because I remember we had, I don't know how to best put it. So I wasn't staying in the Olympic Village. We had different logistics
Yeah.
taking place. So we stayed in a hotel close to the basketball stadium.
Okay.
And then you had to take the train or the metro. Then you had to walk for like 15 minutes. And it just poured. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
15 minutes. Then you need to get access to the village where you get that visitor card.
Yeah.
But that's what worked for me, or they had to work out for me because
Yeah.
I joined late.
Okay.
But all in all, it was like really surreal, and we managed to get gold for the T53.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. So that's the wheelchair racing.
Yep.
It was epic. I was watching it.
It was a sprints, yeah.
Yeah, it was the 100-meter sprint. Yes, and it's so funny because we all celebrated. It was like wow, and then he crossed the finish line. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
feeling over the moon.
Right.
And then half an hour later, because what he did is how he celebrated. He got like a red flag.
Because of how he celebrated.
Yeah, he did this. Like, I killed the competition. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, come
No,
on.
no, no. It's
So,
celebrating.
I mean,
but with the,
the All
Olympics,
Blacks do that every game.
Yeah.
it becomes normal for them, right?
Yeah.
And the judges picked up on that one. So they called everyone into the meeting room.
Shit.
All that senior management got involved. It was like crazy.
Just because he did this.
Yeah, because he could have been disqualified. That goal you've been dreaming about, boom.
Yeah, for that one action, yeah.
Yes. But prior to that, I remember one sprinter, I'm not sure if he's Brazilian or from Colombia,
South
kept-
American, yeah.
or maybe Mexican.
Was doing
He
this.
like shooting up in the air. It's the same thing. But you know, like with the Olympic values and whatnot, that's. But I think we got away with it.
Just
Good.
about. So he
Just
kept
about.
his gold medal, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's all over the news, like
Yeah.
nonstop. So, but it's actually great because that guy inspires a whole generation of disabled people just to get involved into sports,
Yeah, here in Saudi, yeah.
and it's a hidden potential in the end. So you
Yeah.
just need to scout it, capitalize on it, and guide people.
And what's it like training those guys?
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
I would choose them over anything else.
Yeah, really,
Put
yeah.
on record.
Yeah.
It's, I don't want to say easy. It's challenging. I like challenging stuff. So you have to be really creative.
Yeah. Problem
have to
solving.
adapt.
Yeah.
Everyone comes with their own disability.
Yep.
Because bear in mind, like these guys, they get assessed by qualified international investigators, where they try to assess, all right, what classification
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you're in. So for the guy I was working with mainly, Hassan, he's a T20 long jumper. Extremely cool guy. So a T20, they have special kind of treatment in a sense, because their characteristics are, one of them is they say they have low IQ. It's like anything less than 60 is one of the
Okay.
main indicators.
Yep.
They tend to forget stuff. That attention
Yeah.
deficiency is like, but I do fit in the same category.
Yes. Yeah. I was looking at
So, yeah,
Adam.
I
going,
found my
yeah,
people,
maybe.
man.
I think I'm probably in that.
Maybe.
But honestly, like everyone, you know, like it's becoming trendy. I got ADHD. Yeah, good for you. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone wants to be labeled something nowadays.
Yeah.
So yeah, working with these guys, it's keeps you on your toes. So
Yeah.
you just have to make
I
sure.
bet they're
things
characters
clear
as well,
every
yeah.
single day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them, they don't understand the notion of pain.
Yeah.
They will push themselves and something breaks or snaps.
Just go crazy. Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you limping? I don't know. I was like, what do you mean don't know?
Yeah.
They just tore a muscle, you know.
Yes.
There's an avulsion fracture,
Wow.
literally just ripped the tendon off.
It's funny, like some things that take place and you're wondering like how, but then yeah, this is the Paralympics. I mean, it's no different than the Olympics. Same kind of athlete. It's just things are modified, scaled to them, and they teach me a lot.
From a mindset point of view, they have a different
Purely mindset.
attitude.
Purely mindset. I mean, if you ask yourself, if you're like double amputee,
Yeah.
you want to put yourself in that guy's shoes or in that girl's shoes, you'd be like, fuck, how? How would I go on my day, every day-to-day stuff? How would I socialize with people? So you just, but this is me thinking, or someone able. But then you just, you start working with them and you notice like, wow, this is like locked in mindset.
Yeah.
So if I look at Abdurrahman, I call him a hero for a reason. With his disability, and on top of it, I don't know if like not many people know his story. He had an accident, car accident,
Yeah.
that he lost, I think, his brother in it. And then you ask yourself, like, what makes you carry on?
Yeah.
What drives you forward?
Yeah, that what's the fuel? Yeah, always that,
Yeah.
not it?
And his coaches were telling me, like, you should have known Abdurrahman before the accident. But I'm saying, like, he's doing great. I'm like, nah, this is nothing compared to what he was doing before. So apparently it set him a couple of steps back. But look at him. Paris 2024 with a gold. And the pinnacle of the whole thing is you're getting the Saudi Arabian flag Because
Yeah.
when you get a
Yeah.
when you get a medal, you have the national anthem
Yep.
and the flag of that country
Play
Above your
down
head.
on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was surreal. That was great.
Yeah. Is that their Saudi's first one, or they've won goals before, or
No, that was the first one.
first one?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how things go. So you get a gold.
Yeah.
Now there will be like more attention, more funds getting pumped into that program.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because I've been away for like 8 months, 9 months now.
Yeah.
And my guy I was working with, he was ranked 10. Hassan, another hero, because he's, I think, 32, 33. People kind of written him off
Mm-hmm.
because, you're old, blah, blah, blah. And they introduced him late to the program where they asked me, like, can you just have a look at our guy? He has a hamstring strain.
Okay.
I was like, all right. I was coaching the basketball team. That was part of my program back in the
Yeah.
Olympic Training Center.
Yeah.
And I met Hassan for the first time. We did very basic single leg squat. I just want to see. All right, he's a great jumper. He looks like a gazelle when
Like
he
a spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
But you know how they mask and they compensate for stuff.
Yeah. Big
All
time.
these skills because
Yeah.
of years of training. And he couldn't manage to do a proper single leg squat on a bench.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine? I was like, knee. It's just the classical stuff. Knee
Yeah.
vulgus, hip shift.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I just gave him time. I didn't cue anything. I just do single leg squat,
Yeah.
wrap your hands around your shoulders,
Yeah.
sit, stand, sit, stand.
Practice. Yeah.
I was like, by rep 10, no, it's the same thing over again. So that was one of the key things with his mechanics, one. And two, we did some testing for can he hold just basic ISO
Yeah.
holds for the hamstring. Long range, short range.
Short range, bent knee, straight knee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's strong, but he struggles in. So the strain was on his left, but he struggles with the right more.
Yeah, it's normal.
That
yeah.
makes you question like what's going on.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to ask my colleague. He's a senior physio at the center, Paul Farmer, and he just hit it right on the spot. It's like, why don't you look at the left leg where the strain took place, but look at the right leg, see why is he compensating that much
Yeah.
to a point where he strained his
Yeah.
left hamstring.
Must be a big
Which
difference.
makes perfect sense. So
Yes.
I'm looking again to the first test I've done. It's like, yeah, it's too obvious. There's like a huge deficiency between his right and left.
Yeah, it's the left's just fatigued and strains. Yeah.
Yes. Plus mechanically not sound in a sense. And bear in mind, they're like jumpers.
Yeah.
Asymmetries exist. They
Yeah.
need to exist. You
Yeah.
can't get that
For the
symmetry.
sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sport demand. So we did like 10 days, and I worked purely on just increasing his work capacity, like tissue capacity. Lots of local muscular endurance stuff. So we did like day one, strength training, basic squatting, and then the second day it was like a circuit-based stuff,
Yeah.
just to get minutes on
Yeah. General.
general local muscular endurance stuff. And by day 10, he started to show his bounding, his hops, his jumps. He's feeling better.
Yeah.
And at that time, I just had my jump, you know, the my jump application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Just
feel-
to measure
you-
his, yeah. It's a hassle, but
It does the job. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does the job. Now I have Vald. Shout out to Antonius.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys met him?
No.
I've spoken to him, but not met him. No.
Yeah, great guy. He's a physiotherapist as well. So
Yeah, so he gets
manages the
it.
sales for the Vald.
Yeah, for the
systems and
region,
whatnot.
isn't he? He's here, MENA region. Yeah.
So yeah, moving forward from that, 10 days passed, and they asked for me to join the program. But we only had 2 months and a half, and I was like, damn, I wish I had like at least 6 months.
Yeah.
Because surely, if everything went the way it went, we could have got a medal. His best at that time was 7.03 meters, his international record. And what he did in the 6 attempts, 5 out of the 6 personal best.
Was this long? No, triple
jump.
jump. Yeah,
Long
long jump.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the Paralympics, he got 7:31, I guess.
Well.
So we were there, top 3. And then someone out of nowhere, a Russian guy, I think, because they compete under a different flag.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to compete, right?
Yeah.
He missed 5 of his attempts. He didn't miss it.
But he
Like,
got
he came in short.
Yeah.
Bro, just like the movies.
The final one.
The final one.
pulled it out
One
of the bag.
centimeter more or something like
One? Oh my days. He just hit it.
that. Oh, he flew, yeah?
He just flew 751. He beat the Malaysian. The Malaysian was the one everyone looking for. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to get
Yeah.
gold. He beat everyone in one jump.
Oh
So we
my
dropped
God.
from 3rd to 4th. Everyone's like, but it was really surreal. I was really proud of him, what he achieved. I mean, 5 out of his 6 personal best.
Amazing.
So now he's back on it. Not a single strap on his knee, ankle, no taping whatsoever.
Yeah, good.
So he's back into his groove again, and he's competing still.
Good.
Yeah.
He's holding himself together now rather
Yeah,
than external
Yeah.
tapes and supports and all that
'Cause
sort of
you know,
stuff.
with the athlete's mindset, they just want to feel safe.
Yeah.
As you said, like superstitious sometimes.
Oh, there's a lot of
They
it.
all
isn't it?
have like different weird ways of.
Yeah.
What are some of the weirdest ones you've seen of these sort of superstitions or things like that people do? Some of the athletes you've trained over the years.
Oh, that was one guy back in Lebanon. He used to wear the same socks.
Yeah. Never washed them, or he
No. I'm not kidding.
never washed them. Yeah,
Never
just
washed
keep
them.
for years and years and
And-
years. Yeah.
One kid in England, when I was working with the national team, he used to wear his underpants in reverse. Don't ask. It's like,
It's strange.
we agree on this, like superstitious stuff.
Just on game day. Yeah.
Game days, yes.
So you wear them normal the whole week, and then on game
Just
day.
game day, he flip it. And some wear the same jersey, some, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Just give me
Don't
100%.
question it. Yeah.
And you just you just leave it. Yeah. You let these guys do their thing.
It's not my business. Just do it.
And so obviously now there's in the kingdom, obviously with boxing. I mean, there's a huge hype with boxing now, and a big push with the kingdom as well, pushing boxing, and
Yeah, I mean,
it's becoming one of the, with London, Vegas, Riyadh is now one of the top 3
If-
places
if-
in the world, isn't
yeah,
it?
if you look back and you're like, okay, because I've worked in professional boxing for many years
Yeah,
when I was back in England, in London. And I remember the fighters, it was kind of hard to get decent fights.
Yeah.
And they don't get decent money, plus the taxes and whatnot.
yeah,
But now you're entering a different era. His Excellency Turkish Sheikh doing
Yeah.
like epic stuff.
yeah,
Like now, not many wants to fight outside of these events.
yeah. Out of Saudi,
'Cause
yeah.
that's where the real money is.
Yeah,
And remember, you're putting yourself on the line in a sense. You're getting punched.
yeah,
Not your fans.
Yeah.
No one else, not your coach. It's just you
Yeah.
inside that ring doing your battle with someone else.
yeah,
And it's dangerous. It's not easy.
yeah.
Let alone watching the training, the sparring. If it's a hard sparring, all these hits on the head. People don't understand the accumulation of damage across months,
Even the micro, the
years.
small ones, like
Yeah,
it all
absolutely.
adds up, doesn't it?
Yes.
They're seeing that now across all sports, isn't it? Well, combat, contact combat sports, isn't it? Even with
Yeah.
rugby, just it's not necessarily direct contact, just even getting hit over the years and years and years. You've seen a lot of the rugby guys.
It's a concussion. Like some are aware of a concussion, others like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a straight on concussion. You're blacked out.
yeah. Whereas some aren't, though, are they? Some guys can kind of play through it, but they're not even really present for like 10
No,
minutes, 15.
no.
They
No,
don't even realize it. I remember in rugby, some guys just I can't even remember a whole half. I don't even remember the
Happened
whole.
to you, right?
Oh, I got knocked out. Yeah, I got like blackout 3 times totally. Okay, and then I had about 7 or 8 minor ones, but still bad enough where I had to take weeks off afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of it, you smack someone's knee, goes in your head, someone's head to head. You're doing, and
I
often,
hate the head to head, man.
but often it's at the lower levels is where you get hurt the most because people are less coordinated, people are less technically good, so they're hitting you in the wrong place. Or I remember like when we, at school we used to play like inter-house like rugby, and those were the games where you get hurt the most. The most injuries would happen because you're playing guys who are not as good, but they're all over the place. They tackle, their technique on everything is not good.
It's true.
Whereas at the higher, people are more technical. They're getting lower, or they're getting their shoulders. They're using
They're
both
more efficient,
shoulders.
yes.
They're putting their head in the right position.
True.
Whereas at lower level, you just get destroyed. I remember when I played
do you
lower
get
league
injuries
rugby.
from your teammates more than your opposition?
Oh, sometimes, yeah. One of he put his whole finger in my eye. I went under my eyeball, squashed I couldn't see anything for a couple of days
Yeah, that's right.
because we tackled the same guy.
Yeah.
And he went to wrap like that, and his fingers went straight in my eye. I was like, like that, you know. Oh, a lot of the times it's someone on your own team stamping on you in a ruck. Someone runs over you. You're like, what the hell? You know, they run over you or whatever it is.
That's what we sign up for, right?
But as I progressed and was playing
gets less and less.
junior Scotland and you don't get all these little things, you know what I mean? Because people can actually know where they're putting their foot or where they're putting their hand, and
But it's annoying because it just keeps you away from the field. Like you can't train much.
yeah, there's a lot of, and that's just generally with rugby is it's all the little things that build up,
True.
and then the next day you just feel like and you have most likely been hit by a car a couple of times. You know, you just wake up, you're just like, oh, and
You just smashed.
yeah, but I mean, I only played it up till I was about 22, something like that. But I still follow it. And you listen to some of these older guys like that, like James Haskell, some of these guys, and they would, they talk about, God, it takes them a whole week just to recover from one game, and just by the time they're feeling good again, it's Saturday, and they've got to play again.
That's what you call like back to back. You don't understand back to back.
Yeah. It's a week.
Doesn't have to be like Monday, Tuesday. Just week to week.
Week to week.
Not enough time to recover.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, with boxing as well, the impacts these guys are taking, and people are getting stronger. The strength, like you say, the strength and conditioning guys like yourself are making the athletes punch harder and everything else and faster and
if you look at the youth,
more conditioned.
You have 18 challenging someone 21. That's a big age gap.
It's a big difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot changes
But
in
that's
that
the
3
category.
years.
So for me, it's not fair
No.
unless you are adequately ready for it.
Yeah.
But still, if like that 21-year-old boxer is having the same kind of training as the 18, he'll always have that upper hand.
Yeah, because even in rugby, they changed
now.
they changed the age categories in rugby because it used to be under 18s, under 21s,
Yeah.
and they changed it to under 20s.
Okay.
So there was only a 2-year gap, because that 3 years there's huge difference. People put on so much size, especially in strength in those three.
Muscle mass, bone density is way different. Plus your
Yeah.
speed, your strength. I mean, you can't compare it to 18s and 19s.
18 to like 23 bracket is a huge bracket, isn't it?
Yeah.
People just, we'll talk about it in a minute. I want to talk about Kazakhstan, but like when I was in Kazakhstan weightlifting, that's when they would try and get the guys peaking, to enter their first world champs, try and medal is around that 21 to 23, 24 bracket. In the early 20s is when they would try and get them into, medal for a world champs or an Olympics. That's when they're going to be at their peak because they would start them at like 13 years old,
And
11,
building up.
and they build for 10 years up to about that early 20s when they're ready for an Olympics or a world champs to medal basically.
But look at these years like put in. Wow. Week in, week out.
Oh, for 10 years, yeah. It's tell me, Kazakhstan. You were just there, weren't you?
Crazy Kazakhstan.
How was it? I saw from some of your stories and stuff like this.
We went to.
You north or south? Were you in Almaty or Astana or?
No, we went to south. We missed the major cities. It's.
Where did you go?
Why did I forget?
Near Kyrgyzstan?
No, hold up. So you went to Almaty, right?
Well, we were there, but then we went up to Taldyqurgan. It was like 4 or
that's
5.
the mountainside.
4 or 5 hours, from Almaty, yeah.
We were in Kazakhstan. I forgot the city. Oh my days, that's bad. Hold on. So we flew in from Doha to which Almaty airport, and then from Almaty to. It would come.
That's right. Yeah.
Talking about
Up in the mountains.
Yeah.
No.
No?
Yeah.
Because Riyadh is 600 meters above sea level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they matched it.
Matched it's the same, yeah.
Around 500, 600. But the main point was finding the best boxers, and they happened to be in that spot.
Okay.
And I think some of the clubs from Almaty, Astana, they came over so that we can get contact with them and sparring.
Yep. Good.
It's different.
How
So
were they?
you walk into the gym or the stadium, everything is like old.
Yeah.
Soviet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wooden halls, and like.
You can smell it probably now.
Yeah.
So you walk in, and me being an SNC coach, I'm looking. All right, what equipment do you have?
Yeah.
Flipping basic,
Yeah.
which I like. Like they have just bars hanging.
Swiss
in the
bars. Oh, the stool bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, something for the dips, basic stuff, and then a couple of kilos here and there, a big massive tire with a sledgehammer, and that's it. That's it. So what they do is they do school boxing in the morning, where they do like some laps as a general warm up. Then they do some plyo stuff, but it's all standard. It's all repetitive. I don't like much same repetition because you don't get the actual purpose of the exercise itself.
Right.
For coaches, it ticks the box. They're working.
Yeah. It's
So
like
as
a circuit training, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So the structure is as follows. So you do that stretching. They start with the neck all the way down to the ankles.
Or
and stuff.
mobilization,
Yeah,
rotations.
statics, some
Yeah.
dynamic stuff. They go on for the runs, and then they start doing some plyo stuff, jumping and sprinting. I think sprinting was at the end after the school boxing. Yeah, they finished with that one.
Finish with sprinting, yeah.
But bear in mind, it's like different age groups in the same training set,
Yeah.
which is a no-no for me. So
Yeah.
we've been discussing the whole thing.
Yeah, biobanding and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it becomes more entertaining rather than I need to challenge you. So if you want to go one-on-one sprinting, all right, let's match up speeds, and we try to beat each other.
There's not huge discrepancies between,
Yeah, because
18-year-old and a 13-year-old, you know.
it was funny, but I mean, again, it takes the
It's
box.
not useful information,
At
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, you're doing it every single day, and this is things that you are wasting on or you're losing from. And we spent there like a month and a week. I had to go back because of one guy. Actually, we had 2 broken jaws. Yeah, it's brutal.
But I mean, what are those guys? I mean, the Kazakhs, tough, good fighters.
Very good fighters.
Yeah.
From little age, they've been drilled
Yeah.
in that school of boxing, which is the Soviet style. Very bouncy, very fast, very nimble in a sense.
Yeah,
like
strong.
In and out, in and
Yeah.
out, in and out. Big engine, and they can hit hard.
Yeah.
But we're proud of our group because they can keep up with them. They learn
Yeah.
a lot, and that's why you're.
That's why you're there.
Yeah, exactly. Like to learn the experience, learn
To
different
fight against better
styles.
fighters, yeah.
Absolutely. That's the only way you can progress. You can't spar the same people. And our issue in Saudi Arabia is you don't have sparring partners.
Yeah.
You need to go
Go somewhere.
training
Travel.
camps abroad and then get contact from a higher level.
But it's you're here, like geographically, you're close to a lot of
Yes.
strong countries, you
Yes.
know, who.
But the Kazakhstanis and the Uzbekistanis, they're the best fighters for the amateurs.
Yeah.
World champions, Asian
Olympic champions.
Yeah. So when you say like, all right, if you get gold as an Asian champion, it's like you're king of the.
Yeah, it's like in
mountain.
football, Champions League, European Champions League, you know.
Yeah, this is where it ends. Done.
Yeah.
That's the peak.
Whereas the boxing is Asian.
Yeah.
Asian games is the top.
Yeah. So that's a massive championship we're going through. And we already have one guy. He's gonna fight next for the silver. Hopefully he makes it. Then he's up for the finals. And now I think it's the. I'm not sure if it's the semi-final or the final, but I'll check it in a bit.
And from the Kazakh guy, they in that group they had Asian champions and world champs, or
Yeah. So we had
medalists at least, you know.
2 brothers. One was the youth champ,
Yep.
world champ. The other one was the world champ for the seniors.
Yeah.
And both of them they turned pro
Yeah.
while we were there. So they had their first debut fight in Kazakhstan. Wicked guys.
Yeah. Different level. Yeah.
And our boys, like, they really enjoyed sparring
Yeah,
with
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got like lots of positive criticism from their coaches. They were really happy with what they're seeing.
Yeah.
That shows like your program has some progress,
Yeah.
Yeah.
has a good indicator where it's going.
Yeah.
And that kind of training camp fortifies or just gives you more assurance.
Yeah.
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 Right
So-
direction.
Exactly. But again, we need to divide different categories and
Yeah.
make sure everyone having adequate stimuli or stimulus
Yeah.
for
More jaw training, yeah.
Yeah.
More jaw pull-ups, you know, like hanging. From
Well,
your jaw.
I don't know how to. I don't know if there's like an exercise specific to
Jaw
your
dead,
nose.
you know, jaw
Yeah, yeah.
for
deadlift.
your jaw.
Like this, you know, you see those guys jaw deadlift, you know, with a
Chewy
towel around
food.
it.
Really chewy food. They need. Yeah.
Max I've done was I think it was a 52 or a 48 kilogram kettlebell.
Jaw, yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
pulling it up, yeah.
I was first like, let me just work with it.
Use a towel or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, with a towel,
Yeah.
small towel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't think about my teeth. I was just like, I bit on it.
Yeah.
And I went up for a squat. I was like, yeah, this is good. But just praying like the kettlebell doesn't swing.
And hit you somewhere.
And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
then I was done with my squatting. I was like, yeah, this can work. And then you just like build up doing just ISOs. You
Yeah.
get used to it.
Holding
Bit
it,
of
yeah.
eccentrics. And then you can actually do
Your neck,
concentric
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a confidence booster.
Yeah, it feels.
But you would feel
You feel like
your
a
teeth.
caveman, I
Your
imagine.
feel your
teeth is a
teeth.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like
remember
4 days
experimenting a bit with it years ago, like 10 years
Do you
ago.
use any of the neck harnesses or any of that stuff?
No, we keep it basic.
Yeah.
So what I do is
Or like just ISOs, like stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or,
I do lots of ISO. So I split 1 day more static, 1 day more dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would like pair up with each other. They do the static stuff, different angles, so front, side, and back.
yeah.
The dynamic stuff is because what do we have for dynamic? I just use more elastic bands.
Yeah.
But again, they would partner up just to push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You just do long holds, something like that? Or you're doing like
For the
short
static?
bouts? Yeah, for the statics,
Static,
like
like
6, 10
for-
seconds?
45
or-
seconds.
Okay, long, yeah.
They're just holding, and then the next phase would, based on how they look
Yeah.
from my point of view, as in,
Yeah.
can they hold that pillar straight,
Yeah.
or there's some leaks, or
You do stuff with like bands, like the rugby guys use like bands and Swiss balls and stuff like
I mean,
this. Static,
everything.
you know, just
Yeah.
holding like
Yeah.
that. And
it's whether you're yielding or you're like,
yeah. Overcoming,
depends.
yeah.
It depends. If you're overcoming, it's a bit tricky because you need a proper band, or it's gonna smack you in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
A good anchor as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, people like
Anchor's more
Miss on
important.
that.
Yeah.
Anchors.
Don't use a
really
dumbbell,
important.
right?
and you see it on all these memes
Yeah.
on Instagram. So yeah, but a concussion is a concussion in the end. It doesn't matter what headgear you have on; it's not gonna protect you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much research into the headgears.
Yeah.
It shows, or it doesn't show. They're not conclusive. Does it protect you from a concussion or not? You know, we give an example of a watermelon. You just hold a watermelon, you just shake it, you can hear the liquid just
Yeah.
bouncing off the walls. Same thing with your brain. It's very fragile. So right, you have a headgear, but it's part
It's
of
going to protect
1
your
minute.
skin a bit, maybe the bones, like
I
stuff
would
like
say, yeah, just
But the brain
lacerations.
is still
Nah,
getting
nah.
sloshed around,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to be more careful about who's getting hit in a sparring. And we have a medical team. We always refer people out just to check for
Yeah.
like concussion assessment.
With Kazakh, much sports science going on there? Or
Not
just
really.
or just all coach's eye? Watching, seeing.
It's mainly coaching eye, but like the guy we have on board, he's a Ukrainian head coach, and he's worked with names like Lomachenko, Usyk back
Yep.
in Ukraine. I like his point of view, and we're kind of on the same page because he understands basic sports science, how to like load up step by step. He does some extreme stuff, like all these knuckle punches, and you know that when you do that press up, like bitter beef.
Yeah.
Palm, it's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to look
Yeah.
because I feel some of the kids are not ready.
Yeah, their wrists would just snap.
Yeah, but you just take a note, expect the unexpected. In a week or so, you're gonna have someone with an inflamed
Yeah.
And wrists are a nightmare.
elbow and
If
wrist.
you tweak a wrist, like weightlifting, people they just take wrists take a long time because there's just
Use it so much.
yeah, and there's just all
So much
tendons
going on.
there and
Yeah, but this is what we talk about. like,
loads
the
of ligaments and it's just like
risk
so
and reward benefit.
yeah.
And then the coach will look at it old school,
Let's look at reward.
purely reward.
Pure reward.
Yeah, train hard, no pain, no gain. All right, but we're not gonna have him ready for next week.
Yeah.
That's the point. But things are changing. It takes time.
Bit by bit, yeah, generations,
Yes,
15
takes
years,
time.
something like that, 20 years, yeah. Yeah, I remember the weightlifting, like, it's always scaphoid, like right there, because you're in that snatch position, just getting compressed so much. And yeah, you tweak your wrists, and it just takes weeks or months even to even go away. You're doing it, but it's just slow to heal compared to like more muscular
Yeah,
things. It's
absolutely.
always tendons and ligaments and stuff.
I mean, how much can you get it stronger? In the end, you'll end up in an
Like,
overhead,
you're doing
Yeah.
like
huge weight.
some hammer work or something like that, but still,
Nah.
on
It will
the
take
DV.
that split second of a missed catch.
Oh,
You're
Done.
done for it.
yeah,
It's like,
especially
okay.
when the lows are in the hundreds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
But that makes you think, like all these elite level lifters, all that pain they go through, all these injuries.
Yeah.
especially weightlifting. A lot of it's tenderness.
Pads on the side.
Yeah. 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 They're
Yeah.
definitely not on the side. They
Did
are.
you see any of that in Kazakh? I did. I saw tons.
With the weightlifting. Yeah.
You know,
amateurs,
they give
no.
you go in the room that we're in this training camp, middle of nowhere. Open up the fridge. You think like a hotel. You see like
No way.
juices and
No way.
everything.
That's the extra edge.
Unbelievable. I was just
Did
like,
they experiment on you or what?
No, I was so tempted though. But I mean, they had everything. 'Cause China's just across, so they get great growth hormone coming in. There's
They have everything. I mean, what I know of
everything.
weightlifting in particular is the cycles they go into. As in,
Yeah.
if you are on pads, they will make you skip or miss a certain tournament.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Then all your receptors are still enriched with all this steroidal effect.
Yeah, but they start young.
It gives you an edge.
They start when they're like
Yeah.
13, 14. They do it. They get most of these guys are breaking world records by
This
the
is
time
bad. Have you seen them?
by the time they're 18. And then they take them off, and then they have 4 years to try and they lose maybe 10, 15%.
Yeah.
And they spend the next 4 or 5 years just trying to get that 10%.
That's the cyclical nature of how the sport is. Again, track and
Allegedly.
field.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not fair. Like when I went to see, to be part of the Olympic legacy and whatnot, I just realized something is off. If the first top 5 best sprinters in the world getting caught, or the next, put Usain Bolt on the side,
Yeah.
the next 4, everyone's getting tested positive. Like Safa Powell, Blake, Blake, which is in the same.
They're all
camp.
training partners, yeah.
And what was that reading like? Everyone who broke the 10-second barrier were caught for beds, except for Bolt. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it just raises questions.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then you insert the name Victor Conte.
Yeah.
I remember he made a big fuss back in 2012. He wanted to offer his expertise on testing athletes for steroids. And of course, the Olympic Committee said no. But I think if they've given him the chance, he would test and get everyone.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But again, this is the entertainment section.
Mm.
You know how everything gets sold out in a second.
What do you
What's
think
hap-
about the enhanced
Yeah,
games?
when is that? I was just thinking, when?
Yeah.
What's
Well,
happening?
Peter Thiel, right?
Yeah,
The,
yeah.
LinkedIn, was it
Enhanced
PayPal?
enhanced
PayPal.
games.
It's gotta be coming soon, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Like
It's in the
just
works.
yeah. It's, I don't know when it's coming.
I think it's
but-
the end of this year, isn't it?
I don't want to say I'm all up for it, but it's gonna be more work for me
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
rehab because you're gonna see
Blowing.
wicked
Muscle tears.
records.
some crazy,
In parallel, you're gonna see crazy
For
injuries.
sure. Yeah.
But I have no idea how they're gonna standardize stuff. Are you gonna classify people based on what shit they're on? I was like,
I don't even think they'll do classification. I think they'll just
free
say,
reign.
look, go for it. Yeah.
survival of the fittest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was thinking about Kazakhstan, that's literally was the program. It was the most high, it was the highest frequency. The very Bulgarian style, highest frequency, intensity, and volumes.
What?
And it was basically whoever survives will probably be an Olympic champion.
But again,
That's their approach. It's
Yeah.
this is the hardest program. Basically, if you survive it, you're probably going to get an Olympic champion. And I was training with three Olympic medalists. There was one girl. She was a 75 kilo. He won. What's his name? Rezin or whatever. He beat Liu Xiaojun in Rio in 2016. Yeah. And who else? There's another guy. There was 3 Olympic medalists there. And while I was there during the 3 or 4 week period I was there, watched 2 world records get done. Mental. And then after he hits the world record about 5:30 in the afternoon, he goes back. They tell him to come back later at 9 o'clock and train again.
for
So
real.
he hit a 2:13 clean and jerk at 75 kg, and then so it was 2 kilos above the world record. And then and we have dinner. We have dinner, and then he's like the coach. He didn't realize he was all happy, and then he was like, right, come back to the gym at 9 o'clock. You're training again, and they made him go to the world record again, but he only hit 2:05.
But hold up, was it planned?
No. It was Big Friday, so it was on a Friday afternoon. So they went max. They go for max every Friday, and so he hit it, but he didn't know he was going to have to come back later.
But that's what I'm saying. Was it planned? It's off guard.
Oh, totally off guard. Yeah.
Wow.
At dinner, they told him he just ate a big dinner and everything. Like, right, you're going to come back in 2 hours, and you're going to train again.
So he missed it.
And he got up to 2:05.
Crazy.
But
Five-
he missed it.
But he missed it. Yeah.
Probably the coach was annoyed now.
Yeah, he was pissed.
That's crazy.
Told him to fuck off and go to bed.
But hold up. But this is funny. We laugh about it, but
Yeah.
that's what it takes.
It's
Yeah.
mental.
I don't want to say it in public, but that's what it takes. You need to push people beyond the limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will break. But again, survival of the fittest.
Mm.
And I think this is the Russian and the Chinese
Yeah,
approach.
yeah.
Yeah.
They have their own algorithm. All right, you go. You
And
have
it's-
so many schools that you can.
There's so many
scout
people
for.
to choose
Yes.
from.
Yeah.
If I have like 1,000 part of my cohort, all right, I'm gonna put the Navy SEALs
Yeah.
kind of training.
Yeah.
And whoever survives,
Yeah, that
they're
20
probably going to
will
Yeah,
win.
be-
they're solid. Yeah.
Cream of the top, done.
Yeah.
The rest, either
No.
like broken, done for,
Yeah.
whatever. Just
Yeah.
go home. And out of the 20, you're gonna get.
Look at the Chinese program, the amount of volume they do. Chinese like
mad.
weightlifters and all that. The
You been to
amount-
China?
No, never been to China.
All right.
No,
Mm.
I went to Iran, but not. And that was again like that's what I was saying, like about asking about the sports science in Kazakh. You know, 'cause I saw the Kazakh gym when we were with it. Very basic, you know, platforms, bars, plates. They had a little chin dip,
Yes.
leg raise thing in the corner.
Very old
They
school.
attached some
classic.
bands on it, and that's all their accessory work.
Yeah.
Everything's with plates, with bars, body weight.
But again, it's the sheer number of practitioners there. You have so many boxers.
Yeah.
It's a national sports one.
Mm.
Well,
And-
Kazakh boxing and weightlifting are the two national sports, aren't they? Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And I think wrestling is
And
fine.
wrestling as well,
Wrestling
yeah.
in the mix.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is, when you're dealing with limited number of boxers or athletes, you have to be extra careful.
You can't break
Mm.
them, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you get some minor injury or an injury, and then you're gonna miss so many sessions,
Mm.
and you just mess up that accumulation of skill and just getting the reps, the right reps in.
And that's like 10% of your cohort, one guy.
Absolutely. No, you're right.
Yeah.
And people don't realize like it makes a huge difference because you don't have too many fighting at the same weight category.
Mm.
So I think the management is careful and mindful about not getting both of you, same teammates, on the same weight category. So someone needs to compromise for that weight drop.
Mm.
And that's a whole other topic to discuss. It's that weight cut, nutrition. We are in the 21st century, 2025, and I still see the same thing done over and over again.
What's your view on it? Because you see the top guys still doing it, a lot of it. But my previous coach, a guy in the UK, he was a boxer, like boxing coach and fighting coach, MMA, everything. He was a nutcase. But he was always a big believer, like just get people training as close to their weight. Where they only have to drop a couple of kilos, maybe, because it affects your mechanics, your speeds, if you have to drop a lot of weight,
Yes.
it affects. I know from weightlifting when I used to have to cut a lot, it just felt so different.
It depends. It depends on
You know?
your sports. Because if you're doing more like anything regarding lifting, yeah, any change in your muscle mass can have
It felt
a drastic effect on you.
But is it the same for like boxing or not so much?
It is.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, it's how you approach weight cut.
Yeah.
You're getting severely dehydrated. And that's
Or
gonna
depleting
affect your performance.
glycogen,
Yes.
just doing that and not dehydrating, or
It's different approach to it and how they approach it. Because amateurs is one thing. You get the weigh in for every single fight.
right.
So what they do is for the youth, it's only once, like under 13, 14, 15s, probably 16s. They do it once. But the older ones, like the youth, they would do a weigh-in on every single fight.
Okay.
So if you're fighting at 71, you need to make sure all year long you're within that 3-4 kilos. And the more muscle mass you have, it's easier for you to get that weight. It's water weight we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
But two things. One is you're looking at the body fat percentage, how much you can get rid of to a safe, decent level. But that takes time. And add to it is just water regulation, one, glycogen regulation, two.
Yeah.
But we kind of reached a standard protocol with the boxers because now you kind of literally like live with them. They're on WhatsApp 24/7.
Right.
Like we had Ismail, he won his fight. I was up with him till 4:30 in the morning because you get stressed. Not me. They stress you
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't want them to do something silly or stupid on a fight day or 2 days before the fight. That's
people
gonna
do.
affect the whole thing.
People
Yeah.
start overthinking and trying to change everything.
Yeah, but what they tend to do is they just fast.
They're so
Fast.
stressed they can't eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just fast, and guess what you're gonna do in the fight? You're drained.
Fatigue, quick.
No
And that's
energy.
not your performance. You're not gonna stand out. Even if you lose, you didn't put the performance that you're used to.
Yeah.
And that's a shame. Like I hate seeing kids or
Yeah, when
any
they work.
athlete like missing out on basic stuff But again, it takes time. That's the cultural change. That's the paradigm shift in this whole sport. So
Learning curve, yeah. To
you
go
try
through
to
that.
educate more and more. And then once they trust you, they build up that trust.
Yeah,
And bear in mind, they associate the wins with whatever you said.
yeah.
You might say like, all right, once the once the moon is blue,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah, once in a
ABC.
blue moon. Yeah.
So they get these things done. Again, back to superstitious stuff. They would associate things.
With
Wow.
you, yeah.
Why not just use it for their advantage as well? So, but now luckily things are changing. So I'm happy with that. The needle is moving in the right direction.
Yeah. So you try and keep them as a couple of kilos over then? Just general protocol?
Yeah. So within 4 kilos, they're good to go.
Yeah.
So I have a basic table with the names, weight divisions,
Yeah.
and current weight, expected weight, T minus days.
Because how long do they have from weigh-in till they fight?
It's on the same day.
So
you-
hours, yeah?
Yeah, they would weigh in usually. Last time they did 7. That one I think maybe from 8 to 9.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like weightlifting was always like 2 hours. You can't like,
Yeah, they don't want you to cheat your weight.
Yeah.
you can't like, lose 5 kilos, and it's so hard. And then to try and
25, yeah.
regain it and hydrate
Yeah,
within 2 hours properly and feel good enough to actually do anything.
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
I've seen it in powerlifting because it's similar to weightlifting.
Yeah.
You're just pushing weights, but
Yeah.
one with speed,
Yeah,
Yeah.
one
one
with
slowly,
One line down. Yeah.
one light, one heavy.
Now people from powerlifting, they're gonna come at me.
Yeah, they're gonna go after you now.
But yeah, like understanding the demands of the sports just dictates your next moves. But decent enough to say 3-4 kilos is more than enough. 5 plus, you're in my amber zone. 7 plus, you're fucked.
You're a
Yeah,
fat
yeah.
bastard,
You're a fat
basically.
bastard.
No, because you're gonna have to take drastic measures, and that
Yeah.
will affect your performance.
Yeah.
From like sauna suits to sauna, two. Next day, you're gonna feel like, nah, I'm done for it.
Yeah, you're just so exhausted.
Yeah.
It's knackering. I remember doing a big cut once because I was just way over. I was trying to get down to 94 and I think I was 100. 101. I was like, shit. So
Oh,
I had to I'd get in the bath, just have my nose out, 10 minutes in the bath, get out, sweat loads,
What,
get
yeah,
back.
like 40 degrees.
Yeah, it's gotten a really, like almost to the point where I couldn't bear it, into a bath,
Yeah.
scalding hot, get in, just have my nose out, my face out basically.
But
lying
you had
there.
people with you or just by yourself?
No, I had myself, I was an idiot. Yeah.
Exactly. Not an idiot.
And and then 10 minutes, get out. And that was the night before. I got down, but I couldn't do anything next day. Because I did the night before, lost another couple of kilos overnight. And then I was down to like 93, something like that. 93.6 or 93, and I weighed in at that, but then I was just done for,
How did you feel on the competition day?
Terrible. I was just knackered.
But I think you're lucky doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Actually, once I did that once, and I did a sauna the second time, or one of the other times, by myself. I actually nearly passed out. I literally went into the toilet and just lay there, and I was just. Luckily, I had some hydration stuff with me. I was just like, oh, I need a drink. I was just going to pass out.
I mean, dehydration is one thing, but the stress on the heart is another thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you had the heart rate monitor on you, while
Oh, it'd be
moving
like
around,
180, or 170, probably.
just laying on your back,
Yeah.
it's like crazy palpitations, like having
Yeah.
Yeah.
tachycardia. You're like, okay.
I experienced palpitations. I remember I was taking some pre-workout once. What was it? Muscle Tech, back in the day, like 15 odd years ago.
There's crazy supplements back then.
And it was just.
Do you remember that
my
one?
heart was just
Jack-
going.
Jack-
Jack 3D, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Muscle Tech Nitro something, and my heart was just doing weird things.
They had this chemical compound. Was it DMT, DTM? I forgot. I'm not gonna get it right, but I got it wrong. But
Yeah.
it was banned later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people
yeah.
actually died.
Yeah. It was mental.
I had a
That's-
half scoop once of Jack 3D before a rugby training session. I'm really like, I'm very highly sensitive to caffeine.
Yeah.
So my guy was like, yeah, you need to take 2 scoops. Like, no, hold up.
Slow down.
I'll just take half a scoop,
Yeah.
see how
See
it
how it
affects me. Oh, my days. I just finished 2 hours of rugby. I'm running like a madman.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, kick, I want to chase. I'm like running. Then I'm back. And
I felt I was going to have a heart attack sometimes. I remember I used to take like Super Pump, by Gaspari. Super Pump with the vasodilation stuff as well.
Probably you stacked it. that's
Before
why.
rugby, yeah. And I was like, oh my god, I'm just gonna I was so anxious. I was like coming out. It's like, fuck, you just because you just max out on one guy. and then I'm just done.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it,
within
that's it.
5 minutes, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it's that crash. It's nasty.
Yeah.
You just crash,
After
like,
5
man.
minutes of rugby, I was just done. I was exhausted. I was just
Super
like,
pumped.
sub. Yeah.
But can you imagine people on stimulants doing like fine motor skill stuff?
Oh,
You
it's
just mess it up.
Yeah,
You imagine you're shooting or archery or something.
And looking back,
It's
like, yeah,
you're
like-
like,
impossible.
all jittery. You can't
Yeah.
control
Yeah.
yourself.
That's why looking back now, I wish, like during my rugby, I wish I hadn't actually taken any caffeine because it was just so. You know, I was a hooker, so I was the thrower. I had to do lineouts. And it's like fucking
My practice was different.
yeah, over the other side of the pitch,
Flying, yeah.
firing it. I couldn't do a nice little lofted one. I couldn't do that. I was just like, bam, you know, like straight in.
I mean, caffeine is a mad one. People
Yeah,
think,
I wish I hadn't-
drink coffee.
I think my performance would have probably been a little bit better if I hadn't taken so much caffeine. But it was at that time, you know, like when pre-workouts was mental.
Do you remember that? What was it? Ephedrine stack with caffeine,
ECA
ECA,
Yeah.
with aspirin, yeah.
with aspirin. I was like, first
Blood
time
flow.
I started working at a gym as a PT, everyone by the bar having espresso shot, half a pill. or a
Ephedrine,
pill.
caffeine,
So
aspirin.
what are you guys doing? Ah, it's this. You should try the stack. It's like, no, thank you.
I tried it when I was 15.
Hey, you're mad.
Yeah. I told you about it when I was in
Yeah,
South
yeah.
Africa. So I went to South Africa playing rugby when I was 15 down in Durban. And with the Sharks. It was like a Sharks Academy during the Easter holidays, something like that, when I was 15, 16. So we went down, spent like a month, couple
How
of weeks.
intense was it?
Oh, that's when I got into the gym. That's when I became a meathead in South Africa. You know, I went there at 15, and you know, I remember the first day in the gym, seeing all the monsters, like all the big guys back there. The Beast was there, and like all these South African internationals were there. I was only 15 at the time, and I never really properly strength trained before. We'd, you know, done some push-ups, sit-ups, done bits and pieces here and there. But this was the first time we had structured gym sessions with a coach and like all this, like proper S&C stuff, a whole program.
Makes a whole difference.
And he looked at me, up and down, a South African guy, and then he's like, "Right, you three are together." And he gave us the program, said, "Get on with that." And I looked at the program, 10 by 10, GVT. And
By the way,
Yeah.
this is what the Russian,
yeah, 10 by 10.
course.
When I was in Kazakh,
German volume stuff.
to fix anything, if you have like a weak point in your lift, 10 by 6 on every, or 10 by 3, 10 by 6, whatever it was, depending. To fix anything, it's 10 sets. And when I went to South Africa, it was the same. 10 by 10, get on with it. Bench press. I was like, "Ugh." But by the 10th set, I was like, okay, yeah. Just 100 reps, you get better at it within the session.
Fast track way to learn it. Yeah.
Fast track your way to learning things quickly, you know. And
it's
I put on,
like,
I put
that's
on,
right.
yeah, like 5-6 kilos in a month. It's mental.
You're 15.
Yeah.
Testo on fire.
Yeah.
Peaking.
Yeah, we bench, squat, dead, 10 by 10, everything.
What were your numbers like by 16, 17?
16. Okay, 16. So where was I? By 16, by 17, I was back squatting about 180. And then deadlifting was around 180, like 190, something like that, 200 nearly. Bench press was around 140. I think it was around that sort of thing. Yeah, when I was around 17, 18, that's where I got up to, yeah.
That's a decent number.
But then I was training with Walshy after that. So Walshy found me at like 17, 18, and then he just went. And then he made me, you know, just put me through everything.
But I bet you met lots of cool people there.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, South Africa was awesome. But that's, going back to that story, that's where we went to the shopping mall one night. You know, we finished training, because we were training, we do like double sessions, do the gym in the morning, train, maybe do another gym session, train. And then in the evening, went to the mall, went to this like supplement store there, loaded with everything. In South Africa, there's no regulations. You can buy anything and everything you want. And we went into the shop, and the guy was like, yeah, I said to him, I was like, yeah, I want to get bigger, stronger, leaner, faster, everything. Give me what.
Yeah, chill out.
And this guy saw me, some stupid white boy, and was just like, yeah, with loads of cash. And he was like, yeah, fine, get this mass gainer. So I was drinking mass gainers like all day.
Did you handle it?
Just about, yeah. So he gave me this huge mass gainer. It was like 2,000 calories or whatever it was. Wow. Then there was like the creatine, and then I had another. He get me an extra whey protein on the side, along with the mass gainer.
Yeah.
And then he gave, but then he
Just to
gave
make
me,
sure- just
and then he gave me ECA, a stack.
way.
It was called Mac. It was called Mac 4. I remember it.
Back 4. I never heard of it. But
No, it's just
stack?
only in South Africa. Yeah, but it was an ECA stack, and so the name of the brand was called Mac 4. And I was like, and it had a fighter jet on the front of it.
Oh yeah, that's me.
I was like, lean, fast. That's what I want. You know, I want to be a fighter jet of rugby. You know, so I got it, and then I took it, and the next day he said, yeah, take it in the morning. You know, and then off you go. So I took it. I took one, and me and my friend were taking it. We're like, yeah, let's take it. And we had an amazing gym session. I felt amazing. I was just like, oh, you know. And then we had like a theory session afterwards, going through strategy, tactic, rugby, and all position. No, I was just like this. I was like having heart palpitations, sweating, and just ramped. Me and my mate were just like, I gotta go again. I gotta train. You know, we were just there buzzing.
Let the dogs out.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And all day though. Then I couldn't even sleep in the evening. I was just like till 3 a.m. I was just like, I need to hit the gym again. Give me the gym. It's just, and then we realized I'm not going to take this anymore. This is too much. And then I crashed. I absolutely crashed. I had no energy for like 3 days.
That's crazy. It is
Done.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, that was my ephedrine experience. But it is. It's and then clenbuterol is the other one, isn't it? That's another popular one. Stripping.
The clan? Oh yeah.
Clen.
I don't know how people deal with it.
Yeah.
I had my colleague back in that gym, different gym. Was it Fitness First? Yeah. It was the first franchise opened like in Lebanon.
Yeah.
And I was sitting talking with him. He's the head of sales. And the walls are like cardboard. He's like jittery and sweating. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's just the clan.
It's just like,
Hold up.
Just get
He
into it.
says, it's just the clan. Boom!
Through the wall.
His whole fist goes through the wall. It's like, what's going on with you? I'm telling you, it's a fucking clan. Leave. He said,
honestly, imagine you walk
I'm
into
gonna
the
choke
gym.
you now. It's like,
Yeah.
calm down. But it's mad. I've seen it on
Yeah.
different people. Like they're taking clan, but they just pop pills. Like they don't follow a certain
No, just to go for
build
it.
up or protocols. And then you understand like what kind of protocol are you on? Who came up with this protocol?
Yeah.
You
Some
get it?
forum somewhere like
Everything is on the forum.
on the forum somewhere
Yeah.
on T Nation.
T Nation Forum.
Reddit.
Like when this body protection compound 157 BPC,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it got really trendy like in the past 6 years, 5 years.
Oh, 157 or whatever. The
BBC.
peptide stuff.
Yeah. So this is a peptide, and now it got banned on the WADA list. Before they didn't know exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, what it was. Yeah.
But I think anything that gets the hype and the trend, and like people swearing by it, and then
They ban it. Yeah.
everything is on the forum. All
Yeah.
You want to ask the guru. Remember, it's the guru.
Yeah,
The next
yeah,
one,
yeah.
I'm a guru.
Yeah.
The guru in killing people. It's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
There's always one guy in every gym. There's a guru. You know.
Yeah, so they stack it. What was it? BPC 157 with TBC 500.
TB 500. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
stuff.
And I'm like, all right, you want to be a Wolverine, all that catchy stuff.
Yeah, because it was healing. The TBC
Yeah.
was or TBE or whatever it was for healing, wasn't it?
Yeah, TB 500 mixed with the BPC 157.
Wolverine.
Yeah, and actually,
Sounds good.
but you know, like some surgeons would use it. They would inject it around the
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
Because anything that it doesn't have any side effects in a sense, but if it helps to promote healing, why not just throw,
Yeah.
throw it,
Yeah.
throw it in.
Yeah. Chuck it in.
But again, like we're discussing things that people get off from forums with people who are not credible to discuss these things.
yeah, websites, especially in the UK.
You're
like
not a medical. You're not
you're
a
buying
physician.
stuff online that you don't know where it's coming from, and
Yeah, yeah.
all this stuff. They're mixing it with other stuff or diluting it or whatever they're doing with it.
Enter placebo effect. Yeah, I feel like a Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's
Snap
all it. Yeah, snap. Yeah, no, it's that whole side of things because like UK, you know, it's very grey steroids and all that, you know, because what's the rule? You can take them,
Can't
but
sell
you
them.
can't sell them, but you can take them.
Yeah.
Do they have like
US is neither. You can't sell or
Yeah.
take.
a,
Yeah.
but it's still.
Yeah.
Oh,
all over
rampant.
the place.
Of course.
But US have this mad thing. You know, like you can do genetic. What was it? It's like genetic mutation stuff.
Yeah.
experimentation
You're looking
stuff.
at it right now.
No, for real. Like you can buy these lab kits
All right,
online,
okay.
getting delivered, but that's in the States.
Okay.
And you can do genetic
Modification.
modification for certain stuff. I remember I was following this guy. He was injecting himself to suppress the myostatin, the one
Oh
that
yeah.
just
Muscle growth. Yeah.
limits your muscle growth. You know, this Biovine big cows with muscular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Belgian blues,
Belgian
whatever they're
blues.
called.
It's,
Yeah.
it's mad. I'm looking at him. He's like, he looks normal,
Yeah.
but his arm doesn't look normal. As in, too many injections.
Yeah. It's like a heroin addict.
He even managed to change, I think, one of his eye colors.
Yeah.
And another guy, he did. He made his litter of puppies glow. That was the mutation that he was
Yeah.
trying to.
Nice. Glow in the dark,
Go
yeah.
after. Can you imagine? Like, I don't know what breed was it, but anyway, these puppies were like some
So
of
you
them
wouldn't
were,
lose them, yeah. It's a good
They
idea.
were like glowing. I was like, it
You do
works.
it, you do it with your
enough.
kids.
Yeah, I could do it
Can
with
you
my
imagine?
kids.
Oh, where's my kid? That's my
So I
kid.
don't
That's
lose
it.
them,
He's
yeah.
just
That's
the one glowing in the corner there, the
Your
alien.
cat's like, I should have done that with
Yeah,
my
yeah.
cats. I lost
You
it.
should have.
But
yeah.
again, this is the market in the States. Everything is mostly available.
Yeah.
I mean, all that crazy things.
On the topic of recovery and this sort of side of things, there's so much talk about recovery at the moment on the general scene.
People don't understand, like,
What's your, you know?
people just sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just sleep.
Thank
It
you. Oh
is
my God.
free. It's part of your human nature. And then people miss it. 'Cause
Yeah.
all they say is, most athletes, yes, you know, you're right. So what do you mean you're right? That's what you're meant to do. You're meant to sleep. Like in any skill you want to express later on, if you don't sleep well, you don't retain it, you don't process it, and then your performance will drop.
What about like the ice baths, and what about like,
I mean,
you know, the all this stuff, the compression stuff? You've got the red light therapy. What about all this stuff?
again, these things, if you have like a quadrant of most important, least important, important, and whatnot,
Yeah.
sleep would be there in the upper right quadrant. Cold, I'm an advocate for heat, circulation, blood circulation. But what I'm trying to say is everything has its phase. If you're like late in your season, you have so much inflammation, yeah, go for
Yeah.
cold water immersion. But again, you need to look at the protocols. What's the temperature like? Is it 2 degrees, 4 degrees, 10 degrees, 12 degrees? Because people just jump into the ice.
Whatever.
Measure the temperature first so you understand what needs to be done in terms of time, how much time you need to be in that environment. And for me, best works is the contrast between heat, cold,
Yeah.
3-4 rounds, done. And bear in mind, again, the stress on the heart. So if you have a big session the next day, try to keep it at a bare minimum
Yeah.
so you can sleep well. But again, I'm an advocate of heat, so saunas, warm bath, just soak yourself in,
Yeah.
dip if you have a bath. If not, saunas a go-to. Infrared, if you can afford to get those.
Do you have it?
panels,
Yeah.
do that.
What's the difference between like the finish and the infrared? What's the upgrade with an infrared?
I think with the infrared, I can't remember the science exactly, but it's what it does with the mitochondria or what it does on a cellular level.
Okay.
And there is so much, what do you call it, like usage for it.
Yeah, I heard a bit extra because you can just because it's not as hot obviously, about 50 odd degrees ish, isn't it?
What, the infrared?
Yeah. You can stay in there longer basically.
You can say it's like,
So maybe a bit more detoxification or something like that. And
again, it's a great word, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
detox, because it's like simmering. You're cooking something, you let it simmer rather than just cook it on
Blast it. Yeah.
full blown
Blast.
out.
that's how I
temperature.
cook. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Burn
I can move up just
Yeah.
burn."
Yeah.
Infrared, yeah, you can last longer, but again, it's temperatures.
Yeah.
If you have an infrared sauna, you have it at home, probably it takes more time to get that same effect.
Yeah.
And then you have the red light therapy, and they use it for different things.
Yeah.
Like even with diabetic people with like glaucoma, with the eyesight
Yeah.
and whatnot, aging, the whole thing of even with pains, joint pain. But again, it's.
How much impact, like percentage wise, do you think these things have?
I mean, the question is, I always say, is it practical and is it sustainable? Can you do it consistently so we can understand, like, is it making a difference or not?
Yeah.
Or that placebo effect kicking in nonstop? Or you just like feel like, yeah.
And how much stress is it creating? Like, again, some of these ice baths, you know, it creates more stress on
That's what
top
I'm
of the
saying.
stress
Yes.
Yeah.
of more of the stress of the session.
Absolutely.
And you
Because
know,
you're dealing with pain, and everyone has different tolerance to pain.
yeah.
I can dip in, I wouldn't feel pain. You will dip in, you will like, I can't last longer. And I don't know if you notice, when you do like a squat session or an upper body session, and you go into the cold water thing, you feel pain in your legs or pain in your arms because of that blood.
Because the blood's in there,
The blood flow.
Yeah.
and then you're pulling it out.
Yes, you're just constricting all these veins.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't
Yeah.
last. Oh, you're a pussy. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just the
I
physiology.
don't want to put my arms in. Yeah.
Different.
When I was in Kazakh, so the Kazakhs, the weightlifter, they would only do it once a week. Sauna session, they wouldn't do ice. They hate ice. They'd only do sauna once a week, and it'd be the day before Big Friday. It'd be on a Thursday,
Yeah.
and because Thursday was the lightest session of the week. You know, Thursday was the lightest day, lightest.
It wouldn't affect on Thursday much.
Yeah.
It just
No.
helped you to boosts your recovery or just gives you it's a
Yeah.
top up.
It's,
Exactly,
it's
'cause
relaxation.
Thursday was Thursday was the lightest day of
Yeah.
the week. Very short session because the next day was the biggest, most intense day. Max out. So they would put it on a Thursday only, and not everyone have to do it. Only a couple of guys would do it if they felt like it. Otherwise, they just rest.
Yeah, this is like the more I don't want to say like give athletes options, but with such things, leave it.
Especially top athletes when they unknow their bodies, like
Exactly.
if they get a good benefit out or not, or
Because you have athletes like they're adamant, I want ice bath. All right, go for it. I'm not gonna say the science says just go for it.
and yet, but vice versa, you're not going to force someone who absolutely hates
No,
it.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Get in, and that's more stress on top of everything else. It's going to dig a deeper hole. Everything else, slow down the recovery from that side.
Again, you're dealing with inflammation, but how do you measure like inflammation markers? You need blood work.
Yeah.
And that's a different level.
Yeah.
Totally different level. So this is where the sports science stuff kicks in. As in,
Yeah.
all right, you do the blood work. I can measure before, after. Are your inflammation markers dropping down
Yeah.
back to baseline, or we're just there? All right, you take it out. But like, I'll give you an example with my athletes from the basketball side, with the women's team. They rarely do any ice bath. I would just do it if we have back-to-back games, because they're still developing. It's not like a competitive
Yeah.
atmosphere in a sense, as in the level of competition is not that high yet in Saudi Arabia, but it's changing year after year. And when I noticed, all right, we're doing like heavy sessions and back-to-back intense training sessions, I would end with an ice bath.
Yeah.
But we do contrast, like sauna,
Yeah.
ice baths, 2-3 rounds, and it's optional.
Yeah, because you just made me think of when we like rugby days. Often when, like, I remember in Argentina, it was during the summer for the World Cup. It was hot. We'd often do ice baths, and even in pre-season for body temperature. After the end of a training session, it was so hot. Maybe we were down in the south of France on a pre-season or something like that, and it's hot, 35 degrees, humid. And then they put just purely for temperature, get your body temperature down as quickly as possible. Not really for and to jump in, which would feel great. It's like when you come out the sauna, you're like, it actually
want the
feels
ice
great
bath,
to get in the ice bath initially because you're so hot. You just want to cool down ASAP. You know what I mean?
But I would advise like to take like a minute.
Yeah.
And then you drop.
Yeah.
It's just you never know medical history of someone.
Yeah, because of the heart and all
If it's
that.
like a thorough inspection that's done before, or you're just winging it, you're safe.
Rugby days it was like they just put those the dustbins, the wheelie bins out,
water and
you
ice,
just jump in a dustbin.
Dip in, dip out.
Yeah.
But again, what helps is the environment.
Yeah,
Like I've seen people mainly in Dubai when
yeah.
it's that craze, cold plunge. Hani, have you tried this? Like cold plunge in my days.
Come on.
I was a kid. I
Yeah.
always went to swim in like cold rivers because I come from Beirut and we live by the sea. So it's 365 days open for you to
Use.
jump in the sea. And you're swimming with people like age 60s and 70s. They just do their kilometers non-stop.
Yeah. See
Same
on the
as
south
me.
coast of the view, isn't it? In Bournemouth, in the UK,
Old
people go
ladies
swimming every morning.
Swimming. Yeah.
They look at things. So it's just dipping in it. And for those guys, that's normal. I remember in like London, Hampstead Heath, guys go swimming in the pond, in the lake every morning.
I had the best experience. Where I live is next to Royal Victoria,
Yeah.
and they have that open water swimming thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I said,
Lido.
The Lido, yeah.
Yeah.
The Lido.
They call it a Lido. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I always check on the website if they took the badge for that day.
Yeah.
Is it safe to jump in or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I always see like all these dead fish
Yeah. You probably don't want
floating
to.
on the top. Plus, it's a branch from the Thames River. It's not the main.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went there. It was like 12 degrees, but sunny. Like it's different there.
Yeah.
When it's sunny, you're just like
Yeah.
Take your shirt off. Yeah.
topless.
Yeah.
Riding your bicycle with your shorts.
Yeah.
Going in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. So I took a 3mm swimming suit,
Wetsuit.
the wetsuit, sorry.
Yeah.
And then they give you that condom hat.
Yeah.
I took the goggles, no warm up, nothing. I just dove right in. As soon as I dove, I felt like I hit my head in a glass, like thick glass.
Yeah.
It just shook my whole spine. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I swam. I don't know how I managed. I went up on the deck, and the guy comes in. Is that it, man? I was like, no, I'm just warming up.
I remember that feeling though.
I
like,
sat 10 minutes just wondering what kind of shot I was in.
Yeah.
But the water temperature was 10.
Yeah.
yeah, that's cold.
That's what I missed. I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't get the bearings right. And then this old woman comes in, one piece,
Yeah. Easy.
that hat on.
Bam.
jumps in. I think she had gloves, so that's it. And she went for swimming.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
But I think talking to some other strength coaches, friends, they cycle it in because you do adapt very quickly to like this sort of stuff, whether it's ice baths or saunas, and
yeah, you get conditioned quick.
you get conditioned very so that
Absolutely, yes.
you put it in for a month or a
Like
couple of
anything
weeks, then you
else.
take it out.
Yes.
So you're not because then you get people. That's why you can sit in there for like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
15 minutes in cold water because if they're doing it every day for months on end, you just get used
But
to
again,
it.
you regulate your pain threshold.
Yeah,
You're dealing with pain in the end.
Yeah.
Right? All that stress
Yeah.
effect comes from the pain you're feeling. It's not comfortable.
You're not gonna die. It's
Exactly.
unlikely.
But
yeah,
you
yeah,
need someone to make you aware, like,
yeah,
you're good.
You're
And I get
okay.
that. Just breathe. I can't breathe.
yeah, yeah.
And then next session you're in, it's less and less and less. Other people just have thick skin. You just go in, easy, chilling.
Yeah,
It's 3 degrees, 4 degrees, bring it on. But more people are more sensitive
yeah,
and they just don't want to get outside their comfort zone. So it's, again, you as a coach, you want to teach mindset, resilience and whatnot.
yeah. It depends what you're trying to get out of it. Yeah,
One.
Yeah.
But there are other ways to teach resilience.
yeah.
yeah,
What did you say yesterday? What was it? 20 rep back squats. That's
Yeah.
resilience.
yeah.
Max weight, 20
Oh,
RM
that's
back
something
squats.
like
That is
that.
commitment.
That is brutal.
That is commitment. That's cardio itself.
Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah, we were on a podcast
It's
last
emotional.
night, actually, and we were talking about, like, we said, like, just you try doing, like, high rep compound
Yeah,
exercises.
brutal.
20 rep deadlifts,
Just
20 rep
brutal.
back squats, 20 rep any of these stuff.
It's more than enough.
Yeah.
And then with minimal rest in between.
So I do something similar on my birthday. I think I'm going to stop it this year.
Yeah. I'm getting too old. Yeah.
No, honestly, too many things. Like I'm worried about now. My joints are falling apart. So
Yeah.
I said to myself, it started back when I was getting to my 34th birthday. I was like, you know what? I'll just do the reps for my birthday. 34 reps of power cleans at whatever weight I'm on that day. It was 94.
Oh, my.
So I put the timer on. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So I'm just 95 kilos.
Yeah, first 5 reps feel great.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Then I got numb. I was like into it like a madman. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. 20, and then you stop for a bit. You're dead.
Yeah.
Finish 34. The 34th rep, you feel incredible. Not dead yet. It's just like you have
Yeah.
achieved something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something
You're not
mad.
aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your own body weight. You just power clean.
Yeah.
Don't ask about the form. Anyway, so you move on to the next one. So I'm doing deadlifts for like 95. I said like, nah, 100.
Yeah, round up.
34 reps. Bah, bah, bah,
Yeah,
bah.
round it up.
And then I reached the bench press. Oh my days.
That was
I was
wrong.
like 3-4 reps. Boom.
Just pinned.
3-4 reps. Boom. 1 rep. 1 rep. 1 rep. 20 minutes just to finish 34 reps.
Yeah.
Because I'm shit at bench press.
Yeah.
And then pull-ups. It was easier.
Yeah.
But you're already dead from doing the bench
Yeah,
press.
ruined. Yeah.
So I looked at my time. It was like 50-minute session, brutal cardio. I've just hit every single thing. You're sore for 2 days. Yeah, I'm gonna do it every year. So I stopped on my 40th.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the last one.
Yeah, wise, I think. Yeah, that's brutal. I remember I told
I
you.
imagine like do it like once every week. I think it would take so many boxes.
Yeah, but you take your week to recover from it as
Yeah,
well.
non-aesthetic. Don't try it.
Don't,
Like
yeah,
once
no.
a quarter or like once a year, that stuff. I remember like Walshy, he used to have his little death circuit thing, and it was, he would do it with all the kids and the school, and it was so 20 reps of all there's 4 compounds, 20 reps of each, and you had bench press, deadlift, push press, and then back squat.
How many rounds?
You just do one.
It's like the yes.
But as fast as you can. But in between each compound lift of the 4 lifts is a 50-meter sprint
Oh wow.
on the woodway. It was on a curve, so you
You're
do.
too advanced with the woodwork.
It's- yeah, yeah.
But
Had no way.
that was
Yeah.
like 15 years ago. We were, so we used to, but the weights were heavy. So bench press was like, and we did this with the kids. So like 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
You know that kind of protocol minus the sprinting. It's what Dr. Yesus has.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah, yeah,
protocol
it does,
where you do,
Yesus,
like
yeah.
1 set, 20 reps, 20 reps.
Played
20
it,
reps.
yeah.
But you guys had 50.
50-meter sprints in between.
Fucked up
So you do
sprinting.
20 reps on the bench press at 60 kilograms. It was a set weight. Then you have 50-meter sprint. Then you do deadlift at 100 kilos for 20 reps, 50-meter sprint. 40-kilo push press, 20-meter sprint, and then 80-kilo back squat. Then a 50-meter sprint to finish off. And you just do it as fast as you can. Get through it as fast as you can. And the fastest time ever was actually this one kid. He actually went on to play England Sevens and Wasp. Well, when Wasp was around, I don't know what is he was doing Cornish. I don't know. I haven't followed him in a while. He was ridiculous. He ran the 100 meters in like 10:7, something like that. Really quick.
Wow.
Winger.
No wonder he's playing rugby 7.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and he did it in 2 minutes and 30 something seconds.
Brutal.
But the amount of kids who didn't do it in that time, and you normally take kids mostly like 4 or 5 minutes, something like that. But you would feel bad afterwards, but you would feel even worse 30 minutes later. The lactic. It feels like you're getting that burning, that iron taste,
Yes.
and your lungs are burning.
Yeah, we call that the
It's
lung.
like drinking vodka.
You start coughing. You start coughing for no reason.
And
It's like,
kids,
what's going
20, 30 minutes, they would be vomiting. Just brutal. But it was, like 5 minutes max. We cut it at 5 minutes. If you can't, do 5 minutes, and that's it.
on? You guys could have done the Wingate test.
I did
Also,
that. I did
yeah.
that at I did that at uni. That was
Yeah, I did
horrendous.
Were you the guinea pig?
Yeah, I was. It was me because they wanted someone like power, so
Yes.
I went, and then they got like a triathlete, and she
You see
loved
your
it.
profile going up. You peak and then
I peaked within 2 seconds.
But then you drop fast. Right? You drop fast. And you're like, oh. the
I
way
had
up.
2 seconds. I had
spike,
2 seconds
man.
of heaven, then 28 seconds of hell.
Yeah.
And whereas the triathlete was just a nice build up.
Yeah.
She maintained and then came down a little bit at the end.
Yes.
She loved it. She was enjoying. She was just there spinning away.
That's the thing. Back at uni, I was testing. We had the Junior Olympics. So one massive guy, I forgot his name. He's a rower. So he was on one station doing the rowing test,
Yeah.
incremental test, where they do just
Yeah.
all that lactate pricking and
Yeah.
whatnot. He was just like cruising in his, what was it? 16 millimoles.
16.
16 millimoles. Massive unit. He's like
Just don't give me that.
6'4", and he's rowing, keeping up. the
How is he
pace.
tolerating that? I don't
No
fuck
idea.
it.
But that's why you're elite.
That's
And-
why you're elite.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
his 2K is sub 5 or around 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I tried to break the 7, I died.
Yeah.
I saw heaven twice. I was like, how do you guys do it? But I wasn't prepared for it. Just like jump, do your best. And then I had one guy. He's doing the dirt bicycles, like that. He do like a kind of cross country thing.
Yeah, BMX cross country sort of stuff. Yeah,
Oh, these
their
are
legs are ridiculous. I remember
Yeah.
big
a
engine.
guy in Holland. His legs. He was leg pressing like 500 kilos, just smashing them out. His quad development was ridiculous.
Cyclist. You remember that German guy?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Turn on the toaster.
Bulgarians squatting 200 kilos,
Yeah.
This is brutal.
200 kilos, yeah.
like 230, 220.
Yeah.
something
Probably
like
that.
Yeah.
Just sets it up.
Single
Yeah,
leg
bar on
squat.
his back. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Mad quads.
No, the
but,
cyclists had just crazy strength in their legs.
but it gives you an idea about profiling athletes. All right, you got the speed power athletes. They're going to lack endurance.
Mm.
And then high endurance, they're going to lack that power. You can plug in a bit of stuff, but that's the nature of athletes. And this is what I do with them. As in, you can see, we do the 1 mile run test.
Yeah, nice.
I
Yeah.
got one guy, he did it in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. That's elite.
That's
Boxer, yeah?
amazing.
Yeah. Elite.
Fuck.
Elite. Another
Wow.
guy did 4:45. Two of them, they're just like big engines.
That's
but
also insane. Yeah.
they will be lacking in power and speed. Power.
Yeah.
Mainly it's power. And you have the powerful ones. They're just like 5:40, 6 minutes.
Yeah, six,
Still okay.
5 to
Pretty
7
good.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, still okay. But if you want to get to that international level where you can compete,
around the
with
5 minute
ease.
mark.
Yeah, because remember it's just 3 rounds of 3 minutes, 1 minute break. You need to be in top shape, maintaining that power output non-stop. Because they do mad combos, like pop, 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 in and out.
Yeah.
So it's like 3-to-1 almost.
For me,
Yeah.
boxing just destroys me.
You've tried boxing, yeah?
Yeah, well, my coach, I had him for 5 years, and he was my mentor, and he was huge on boxing. And so I'm not a boxer, but we used to do, whenever I used to go see him, we'd train it, and it used to just wipe me out. Like, I'd be just dead. That sort of training of like a minute on, 2 minutes on, it would just ruin me. I just couldn't recover. It'd take me so long to recover afterwards. But give me like 10 seconds on, like more that kind of, but multiple sets, like lots of sets of 10, 20 seconds, I can do that. But if you're doing like rounds of like that 2-3 minutes, it just ruins me.
It's you different.
Yeah, and doing combos and because it's like the complexity spectrum and intensity. And boxing is high complexity, high intensity.
Absolutely.
That's mental.
So much coordination taking
Oh,
place.
you're neurally drained, you're metabolically drained, like everything, because you're having to react, like
Yes.
processing so much stuff all at the same time. Whereas a lot of say like at the other end of the spectrum is like marathon running or whatever, it's low complexity generally, lower intensity, but you're just long.
It's almost one task.
Yeah.
If you're
One
a marathon
task, just
endurance
go.
runner, just yeah.
But boxing,
It's different.
and just MMA, all that sort of stuff, high complexity, high intensity.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, for me, till now, it's wrestling and mixed martial arts, or let me say mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
It is the craziest to train because
Yeah.
they have to cover so many disciplines.
Yeah.
Groundwork, strike work, and
Yeah.
the in between. So
All the floor, the groundwork is mental. It's so fatiguing, jiu-jitsu, all that stuff.
yeah, with them, they need lots of load monitoring, as in again, you're dealing with different coaches.
Yeah, like how much
So
strength work can you do? Because they're doing a lot of like resistance, holding, isometric work,
Yes,
holding. They're constantly resisting.
So when I first started back in the UK, 2013, I had a stable of professional fighters,
Yeah.
different weight divisions. And I was like, I always spend the first week getting introduced to the athletes. I don't do much with them, I just with them, just to observe their habits and their format of training, like how do they warm up and whatnot. Because you have to respect their discipline. You're coming from a sports science background,
Yeah.
dropping yourself into their world.
An
It's
art.
different.
Yeah.
Yes.
A
So-
science into an art,
Absolutely. And this is why you try to bridge that gap between the two. And it's like 45 minutes of warm up.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's the wrestling bit.
Yeah.
And then they go into the striking stuff mixed with the grappling and whatnot. That's in the morning. And then they come in the afternoon. They do like boxing drills, probably 45 minutes. And then the evening, they might do more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So you need to factor in all of this, plug in your SNC, and then ask
Somewhat.
yourself, what are you trying to get out of your SNC sessions?
Yeah.
Am I trying to do patchwork where like, work with all these
You can't do too much.
minor pains or like contusions and whatnot?
Yeah.
Or minimal
or-
eccentric work and like all
Yeah.
this sort of stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on how many weeks you have
Yeah.
for the fight, or is it there's no fight, you're just like trying to build up.
Yeah, then you can do more
Athletes.
stuff because
Then you can ask them to
their
drop
skill
it.
is not required right now so
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah. But it's crazy, and I got to meet Roger Gracie in one of our camps.
Yeah.
I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", tall guy. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah. Not in real life. I've seen him on YouTube or whatever.
But
Yeah.
he's legendary in
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's the whole
And-
family's built
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Very calm guy, very basic in terms of his.
They all are because they know they can kill you.
Yes, but
All these
it's
guys.
the way he spars and fights, and he goes like, just do the basics.
Yeah.
And we had another guy, Lubo. He's a Bulgarian national champion in wrestling, 70 kilos. I used to enjoy like learning from him some stuff because I used to do Romanian wrestling back when I was a kid,
Yeah.
almost a year, but I didn't enjoy it much because of the coaching and everyone's like on steroids. You can see them. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do I know? And then that guy, super sound and technical. No hands. Can you imagine someone flipping you with no hands?
Yeah. Just boom.
Just neck and shoulder.
yeah.
Boom.
Bum. Yeah.
Drop your face down. It's like, I'm using my hands.
Crazy.
And then
Yeah.
for someone heavy
a
like
bull.
me,
Yeah.
They just,
but it just teaches so many things. I like to be involved in the sport so I understand more the demands rather than, what's the research I have to say
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
yeah. Get in.
You
Get
gotta
in there.
feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel it.
Skin in the game.
Feel
Yeah.
it.
You have to feel it. You have to understand the level of it and see if you progress. If you progress, that will give you a better insight of, okay, what's the bare minimum that we can do just to make these guys stick and move forward. Because stress is stress in the end. They have their own psychological stress, their physical stress, all these hits. And then you want to add S&C, what are you going to do? Like massive lifts? No, you need to build up. Instead of doing like 6 sets, do 1 set.
Yeah.
See how that 1 set makes a difference. And the conditioning part, that was a tricky one. So it was the first time I've introduced HRV. We tried to explain HRV. And then, you don't have to explain much for athletes, but just like, if it's yellow,
Red.
red,
Take day off.
or
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't say when it's red, come in.
Yeah.
Let's see, does it
If you're actually
regulate-
that bad, yeah.
Yeah, because it's numbers in the end, and with HRV it's so tricky because psychologically you can snap out of it in a sense. Don't take my word for it, but sometimes with my whoop you're like, okay, under recovered, whatnot, 6% recovery, but you have to look at the numbers as in based on what that strain level.
Yeah.
Is it just the sleeping hours? But this is when you reach like elite coaching.
Yeah, it's the art form.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
I remember Dan Pfaff when we had back in 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
He came and gave many seminars because he was the director of the UK athletics at that time,
Mm.
and he worked with Greg Rutherford.
Yep.
Yep.
He got the gold for the long jump. With Greg, he had one SNC session. This is how much he can tolerate. That's
Yeah.
it. It was like, why push it?
Yeah, minimal effective
I mean,
dose.
yeah.
You know.
So yeah, makes you wonder all these science journals and all the experiments done. It's what participants you had and what's the track record, what's the duration of the test and whatnot.
There's so much individual difference, don't you find?
It's huge. I mean, we all try to extrapolate data from a research,
Yeah.
but you ask yourself like,
The bell curves and you know
I
all
always
the
say, unless you do your experiment on me, I will take that.
yeah.
If not, pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, I will just heed the warnings and stuff because if it's done on higher level, like
Yeah.
elite level, the window of adaptation is so minimum.
Mm.
What you get is what you get in a sense, and then you just look at the data, but you need to be involved in
And
the
you
test
need to be.
itself.
I think it's important to be aware of it. So you know, but yeah, it's looking at the person in front of you or people in front of you and seeing how they're walking in today. Because there's so many stresses, whether it's environmental. You know, people come in for multiple reasons. They might be in the red zone for different reasons. You never know. Like. And taking them as they come in, and like you say, and my coach say, like, just start warming up, just warm up.
And we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Because
Warm up.
sometimes when warming up and your coach talking certain words or
Yeah.
cues, he just winds you up or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you
Oh,
get
actually, I
fired
feel
up.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit rusty on the first set or whatever. Then I feel actually pretty good today.
Like remember training rugby or playing a match on rugby.
Oh,
You
yeah.
show up, you're damaged, you're smashed, you haven't had a good night's sleep. But then, boom,
Yeah,
you're on it, you're on fire, you're just like
yeah,
playing your best game.
yeah. There's all
Yeah.
that psychological element, isn't it? Sometimes it's just psychological. You're just not. But then you start warming up, or you start getting you hear the right music, or you're with your mates, or you know what I mean. You're just
there's
okay.
there's so many variables in it.
So many variables. Trying to put it all on one or two or three. Like there's multiple different variables. So. And so what's up? You got your fighters now in Asian Games. What's coming up over the next 6 months or so for you? And
So I believe we might be heading to London for the Haringey Cup.
okay.
Yeah, so I think this is for the under 14s, under 13s.
So are you preparing for like the next Olympics then for these guys, or
We're not sure yet.
you got any probables?
We have potentials, yeah.
Yeah.
Now
but-
things are changing. So the CEO of boxing is His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, and the project manager for our club, he's been appointed as one of the board members.
Okay.
So that will make a huge change moving forwards.
So you
Things
have
will
some
progress.
amateur stuff and some pro stuff.
We're still not sure of pro stuff because our program is meant to have the elite amateurs
Yeah.
once they hit the right age, because you need to follow the board of boxing.
Yeah.
Like in the UK, you have to be 18.
Okay.
If you go to the States or Mexico, probably 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember with Canelo, he was fighting since he was 14. They just like
Yeah.
evade the whole thing. But what works for them doesn't mean it's gonna work for you, because you're still a baby in a sense.
Mm.
You're still not fully matured in terms of your bone density, your muscle mass,
Yep.
and you're up against men. Once you go into the pros, it's a different sport.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amateur is one thing, pro sport is a different thing. The grooming, the proper matching of what boxer you need to, what we call the journeyman.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight high level people. I'll get smashed.
Mm.
And most people, they play like fighting games. If you choose a character and you go into a tournament, they won't unlock level 2 unless you clear level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by level 6, your attributes are changing. So you're gaining more strength, speed, coordination, you're more skillful, tactful, and so on. Same thing happens in the real world in pros. Amateurs, no. You go in, there's a draw. All right, me against you, you're elite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm just breaking in. Unlucky, done.
Yeah. Out first round or whatever.
Yeah.
Or with a draw, some people will have one fight. Others will have 2 fights to reach the semis.
It's a bit like football. For the World Cup, you get drawn in a group with whoever.
Yeah.
You fight whoever, and then you get through to the quarterfinals, semis. Yeah.
People say it's unfair, but you just factored in luck, which is fair for everyone.
Yeah.
Because it could have been you or it could have been me.
Yeah.
But unlucky you. That's the thing. So yeah, moving forward, we have one pro fighter that we had his debut fight back in November. It was in the Boulevard. It was great. So he did the 4 rounds. They all start with the 4 rounds. They do a couple of shows on 4 rounds. Then they move up 6. And then it goes on and on until you hit 10.
Yep.
And then when you rank top 10, top 5, then you can contend for a belt. But that would take a minimum of 3 to 4 years
Yeah.
if you stand out in every single fight.
Yeah.
Because bear in mind, there is the persona of the boxer. Are you like presentable?
You look the part and everything. Yeah.
You have the skills to back it up. You have the wins to back it up.
Pro is a business. You know?
It is a business because you're looking at social media hyping up.
Yeah. Ticket sales.
I don't know if you played that UFC game on PlayStation.
No.
They do the same thing. So they walk you through the same stages.
Yeah.
So you're nobody, and then you fight the first fight. All right, now the media is having more attention about who's the up-and-coming fighter. And you do like 2-3 more fights, you get a bonus round, a bonus fight, the bonus prize, and now they show you on the social media aspect of it, like you have more followers, people talking about you, but you need to have the perfect management around you.
Yeah.
Because in the end, you're an athlete. You're not supposed to do handling social media.
Yeah,
This guy
logistics
saying that,
and
blah,
all
blah,
this.
blah,
Yeah.
or fixing your matches. You just need to train, eat, sleep, repeat. Boom, boom,
Got a whole
boom.
team around you. Yeah.
The whole team needs to work with the other bits. I remember with like Hamza Shiraz, because I worked with him for like many years. Back in 2018, 2019, till after like COVID. And then he went to LA for his camps.
Yeah.
Because his head coach was based in Los Angeles. Like that guy is a beast. I love his mindset. A for mindset, A for skill. He's got it all.
Yeah.
It's like a 6 a.m. workout, 6 a.m. He's there, fully engaged. No shit, no talking, straight 8 business. Boom, boom, boom. All right. He doesn't bother much about the nuances of, I need to do this, I need to do that. No.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do. 1, 2, 3, done. 1, 2, 3, done. But it's his family around him. He has massive support.
Yeah.
And he's from Ilford. I'm from Beckton.
Yep.
The East London boys. Shout
East
out to the
London boys.
London
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's where boxing is, isn't it?
Yeah,
East
yeah.
London.
I mean, it comes from these rough neighborhoods. And
Yeah. Bethnal Green and all around there.
yes. So he did well for himself. Now he's contending for the world title. He's based now in Dubai. I think he switched. Yeah, he moved to some other coach now based in Ireland.
Okay.
So his camp is going to be in Ireland. But just to give you an example, like pro fighting is way different. Like for him, he didn't do too many amateur fights. He just got bored and it's like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'll go in, I'll do the pro. But with him, it was weird for me seeing people dropping 8-9 kilos, sometimes 10 kilos.
Mad, isn't it? There's
So-
it's 48 hours between weigh-ins, isn't there, for pro level?
Yes, but I mean, you have to be very smart with it. So Paul is his nutritionist. He's fantastic. He's based in the UK as well. And he handles all his nutrition. He has like a big, huge stable of fighters.
Yeah.
And very trustworthy and spot on. Everything is on point with him. So, because you need to be smart about the weight cut.
Yeah.
Because you need to match it with the energy needed for all the training sessions. Because if the head coach doesn't understand what the nutritionist is doing and what your athlete is going through,
Pushes him too much. And
it's going to be a clash, and then he's going to drop. He's going to get injured, or he's not going to perform well. And that's what you see in the amateurs. They drill them so hard, but he's dropping 5 kilos now.
Yeah.
He barely have much energy to do it. Nah, he needs to show up. He needs to train. I was like, oh, they. So you try. I can't say much. It's sensitive now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
try to play it smart. Don't do 100%. But he can't.
Yeah.
They will ask you, like, why is he drained? What do you think? There's no fuel in his system.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
simple stuff.
There's no water, there's nothing. There's
Yeah.
dehydrated. So
Again, back to education awareness, and they need to associate the wins or the successes with what we're trying to do as coaches. That's the biggest bang for your buck.
yeah.
But a bit of luck plays a hand in it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like it, especially professional sports, big time.
Yeah.
And genetics is huge at that level, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So
Yeah.
this is it with tournaments. I think what's coming next would be another tournament in Saudi Arabia.
Nice.
and probably the Asian Championship again, probably in Bahrain. I'm not sure. Everything is to be confirmed. This is boxing. Basketball, I'm finishing my season with the Al Nasser club.
Yep.
So we have the 3x3 next week in
Nice.
Medina. It's 2 days.
Okay.
So we've already won all the championships. So we got gold across.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
Total domination.
Yes, perfect.
On top of it, we had the MVP of the season,
Yeah.
player from our team,
Yeah.
best coach, our team.
So you just
And
wipe the board basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
Best import
Yeah.
and best up and coming basketball player. All from Al Nasser.
Wow. Amazing.
That makes you feel happy, satisfied. And
For sure.
then, but from me, like aside from the club itself, it's for others to see it. You need to work.
Mm-hmm.
You need to start to employ SNCs. Not anyone is an SNC.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, it's a shame. Like when you come across people saying, like, yeah, from gym instructor to SNC,
Big
it's
difference.
like you're getting
Yeah.
mixed up. But
Yeah.
again, back to terminologies. I think the word SNC should be
Changed.
changed
Yeah.
big time.
It's
Because what
confusing.
defines you as an SNC?
Mm.
APT can be SNC. They do some lifting. They do some cardio.
Conditioning, yeah.
You've
Yeah.
taken-
CrossFit's the big one. They took the name.
Oh, don't
Every
remind me of that
cross-
CrossFit thing. 'Cause
yeah,
of,
yeah.
Nothing against CrossFit. It's just when we first started doing my masters back in 2011,
Mm.
CrossFit was picking up.
Taking off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one main thing that I would like take my hat off for CrossFit is they help weightlifting.
Mm. Big time.
Massively, yeah.
CrossFit is highly dependent on weightlifting. And then these coaches from weightlifting started like, all right, I'm available. Let's teach you the right way. And then you had this new crowd adopting weightlifting because you need to do proper weightlifting.
Yeah, big time.
And
yeah.
it was a big boost for weightlifting,
Mm.
which is great. But they started mixing up CrossFit with actual elite athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. All this concurrent training, it will help you for some short-term goals,
Yeah,
but then
But then people thinking CrossFit is a great base for sports,
absolutely.
which
You
is,
tick all the boxes, but you need to be aware of when to
yeah.
Yeah.
implement CrossFit.
Because for me, it was always you do a bit of CrossFit maybe in the off season for like a couple of weeks, just something different,
Yeah,
bit of GPP sort
of
of
fun.
stuff,
Absolutely.
bit of fun, something different every day,
I
and then
think
you,
it's perfect for GPP.
and then you
Yeah.
go back
Yeah.
to it.
Unless you have something specific you need to work on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Again-
once a year for a block, you do it, something like that, and then
Yeah.
you go back to doing your actual
Yeah.
stuff.
Because many people don't realize, like, we always say, like, keep the main thing the main thing. If it's boxing, that's your main priority. It's not lifting, it's not the running.
Mm.
It's all these components that need to complement your boxing.
Yeah,
Because what is it good for me as a boxing coach having deadbeat athletes? Why can't you punch? Why can't you move? We did heavy squats. We did
yeah,
this.
I'm so
Yeah.
sore. Yeah,
And yeah, this will affect greatly your coaching
Mm.
reputation.
Yeah.
It's very tricky here
very
when you work with combat sports.
well. Coach Hani, where can people find you and find out, follow your journey
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
you know, online on
I'm just
with what you're
active
doing?
I'm just active on social media. My Instagram, coach.assi, A-S-S-I.
Yep.
LinkedIn, the basic.
Yeah, no, I recommend. Like your stories are great. We're following you, like you with Kazakhstan and with your athlete, all the training. You see,
Yeah.
you show a lot of your even your self training, but also like you're doing your 12 a.m. workouts and you do some crazy work. So that's,
I'm a big advocate of random workouts. Just
Yeah.
to be aware of when the need comes, you'll be ready.
You're ready.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
no, I love it. I love the mindset of
Catch
that.
me,
Yeah.
catch me off guard. Yes, so this is it. Instagram. My content is basically most of it what
Yeah,
I'm
your athletes. And,
doing, keeping up with my athletes, and not much content on what you need to be doing.
yeah.
Maybe I should push it, but it's it's like
It'd be
takes
useful.
time.
Yeah, you're a fountain of knowledge. So sharing
Oh, thank
more
you.
of
Thank you.
why or what you're doing and why you're doing it and all this stuff. Because I think that's an element in the kingdom here that's just lacking, like that education side, of especially
It's changing now. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Bit by bit.
noticing, yes, I'm noticing people are getting more advanced in terms of they're hungrier to know more.
yeah,
I'm sure you guys get DMs like, where can I get certificates? Where can I
Yep.
get
Yeah.
coached and whatnot? For me, I still say, all right, if you have like the basic prerequisite of understanding anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, etc., seek mentors.
yeah, seek a
You
mentor.
need a
Yeah.
mentor. Everyone needs a mentor. I need a mentor. Everyone needs a mentor. So I know I have lots of DMs to reply back. With it's been a while because every time it's like, yeah, summertime. But as we spoke over the past 6 months,
Yeah.
lots of things happened.
Yeah.
So one day I'm in, the next day I'm out,
Yeah.
training camps,
Yeah.
and you're doing lots of competition. So hopefully something comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just advertise it.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But anyways, thank you for having me, both of you.
Yeah, pleasure.
problem.
Glad to get you on
What
eventually.
you guys are doing is massive to the fitness community. I hope like other people jump on this, not trend, but that momentum.
No, it just encourages people to start talking more and get out there more and do stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Start talking more, start having conversations like this, and making more of it, more information out there. So we're going to keep
I'm
doing
actually
that.
thinking of driving towards you guys. Like, yeah, we need a podcast in Arabic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
like a big.
gap.
We can't do that.
We can't do that. Yeah.
I'll be your background. Something.
Yeah, translate.
I'm not
yeah.
that good in Arabic, by the way.
Yeah.
They're Arabic and their definition.
Yeah.
I'm poor.
Yeah.
Thank you. I try my best. So
Yeah, there's a huge gap in the market for that. So anyway, Coach Hani,
Yeah.
until next
Thanks a
time.
lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
this base is what? Your home?